cooling and insulation weather.
No complaints about this weather. Partly to mostly sunny skies. The northwest flow has opened up again. 75 for the high. Great this evening. Clear skies, 62. Friday, partly sunny, maybe a spot thunderstorm. Late Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Do not expect much. 78. Mid to upper 70s and sunny over the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, happy Thursday. Thursday already. This week is going by super fast. Yes?
It was up until you said that.
Thursday is the beginning of the end of the week.
Ooh.
The RFK Jr. Bobby Kennedy hearing taking place in front of the Senate right now is bonkers. Have you watched much of this?
Oh, yeah. I watched a lot of it.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to, in just a second here, is it Lujan, Senator Lujan from New Mexico? Did you hear this one? I hope no. I hope you didn't hear it at all.
I saw it, and I was looking at subtitles.
Oh, my gosh.
I did not listen to it.
So Kennedy is being grilled on vaccines for the most part. Most of everything surrounds the vaccines, right? And I think when I hear this stuff, I actually want to listen to this because I don't know anything. I've done what I'm supposed to for myself. You know, I know what it's like to give birth to a baby, and they go, oh, but we're going to be in at 2 a.m. to give, little Charlie his shots. And I'm like, shoot him up, do what you got to do. And you just think, okay, you're just trusting people.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you're supposed to trust these people. And the people who are participating, you know what the thing that drives me the most crazy is the people who I know personally. People who I sit next to in lawn chairs at baseball games, and during the course of getting to know new families, I find out they're a nurse. And then by like the 7th game in, you're talking like deep politics about vaccines and stuff because they're nurses and they have educated thoughts on this. And I'm just listening to them wide-eyed. And they're like, the amount of things that we do in the medical field that we just do because that's what we've done is unbelievable. And a lot of times these are people who have worked in the medical field for a really long time. They have developed, I will say, educated opinions from being on the ground in medical environments that, they get to have opinions certainly more educated than mine. That doesn't mean that they went to 47 years of medical school and now they're the, top doctor in all the land. But they're around those people, and they do practice medicine, and they care directly for patients. And I talk to these people, and they have questions. I don't know that they really have all the answers, but they certainly do have questions. So I feel entitled to have questions.
Typical entitlement.
You know me. I think I'm entitled. You've talked about this before. You have CF.
Mm-hmm.
So cystic fibrosis is a lifelong diagnosis?
Yeah.
When did you...
They diagnosed it when I was, I think, 6 months old, 8 months old.
Yeah, we'll call that lifelong.
But it's a lifelong disease. Even if you get diagnosed later, it's not as if you developed it.
You don't know life without CF.
No.
And your parents really don't know life with you without CF.
Right.
So you have a different kind of exposure to the medical world as somebody who has... Is that considered a chronic illness? I don't know what it's...
It's genetic. I just call it a genetic disease.
Genetic disease. So how do you approach that? You have doctors. I'm presuming that you have doctors that you've seen for a really long time, and you just trust them.
Well, I do, except that during the COVID era, I asked a lot more questions because I had more questions. And I was getting a variety of opinions from various doctors.
That you trusted.
That I trusted.
You trust the doctors, and they had differing opinions.
And their advice was conflicting. So this is where America woke up to, I think I have to ask my own questions now.
For COVID, which is a respiratory disease, and if you don't know much about CF, that is a respiratory
affected for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you get an infection in your lungs, you're in extra trouble.
That's the way it shows up the most, is as a respiratory disease.
Brad, you've had 3 heart attacks?
Yep.
I assume you see cardiologists?
I do.
Do you have doctors that you just trust, and do you just do what they say because you trust them?
No, actually, I have spent hours having questions, and they welcome it too. I want to be clear. I will sit and when I have an appointment, if I have any questions, I will ask every question that I have, and they happily sit there. And then they're like, here's my email if you have any more.
But do they have answers, or do you discuss, like, do you feel like there's a consensus and they're the go-to, the resource, and you are just...
Not even within the same office. So they're co-workers. Maybe one's the nurse practitioner and one's the cardiologist, and they each have different thoughts on this stuff. They don't necessarily 100%, like, same direction, I would say, but not like overlapping thoughts. So, and I trust them both. I mean, my cardiologist saved my life. So he gets a little bit of the benefit of the doubt by doing that.
Do they tell you, like, this is what I think, but I don't really know? In the instance that instance that you're asking a question, COVID for a CF patient, how could they know? They could have very educated guesses, but don't you want to know as the patient, I'm not certain, but this is my professional opinion.
There was such a wide variety that some doctors would tell me, and there's a variety of doctors even in the same office. Some doctors would tell me, for sure, this is what you need to do. Other doctors would say, well, this is what we recommend.
Mm-hmm.
And then others would you could tell there was a company line and that they were supposed to say it. And so they would. And then they would look at you and you'd know what they were doing.
COVID has really shifted my, as a patient that knows nothing. I know nothing. I need to put my hands in the people who know everything there is to know. And listen, everything there is to know, there are still things on the other side of that aren't known. But I'm assessing anybody who I saw who cared for me, who cared for my family, how willfully they just went along with the company line, as you put it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm scratching my head as to whether or not this is the right place for me to put my care or my family's care. Especially if people were like super indignant about this is what you need to do. And I was like, I don't know if we know that that's what we need to do, but what do I know? And then it turns out that was definitely not what we need to do. And I think that the office got compensated if I did the thing that you said that we needed to do.
Oh, don't get me started. A lot of money. A lot of money.
I want to get to, before we get to Hans von Spakovsky in the next break, we're going to talk to him about Lisa Cook and activist judges. Like, if you look at the amount of injunctions against Donald Trump in his presidency versus everybody else, it's like talking about funny money. We're going to talk to Hans about that in a bit. But Senator Lujan, who I've never heard of, from New Mexico, and I'm listening to this on the way into work, is questioning Bobby Kennedy. And the reason why I want to highlight this is because this was the perfect encapsulation of the Democratic Party today. There are a lot of people who have a lot of criticisms, rightfully so, with our health services in this country. You have Bobby Kennedy sitting right there, and you have the option to press upon Kennedy to make the situation better, or this is your opportunity to score political points with your base. Just like we said yesterday with the Epstein stuff. Is this about finding out really what Epstein did, who his victims were and who his cohorts were? Or is it only simply about Donald Trump? I want you to listen. This is the most laughable. I was laughing out loud in my car by myself crossing the Stan Musial Bridge today. Brad, let's watch and listen here.
Keep Senator Lujan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Daskalakis, who recently resigned as director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, his resignation letter stated he and his team were never allowed to brief you. I'm curious who you're listening to, since it's clear you're not listening to qualified experts like Dr. Daskalakis. Can you give the committee the name of the person?
I don't consider Dr. Daskalakis.
Mr. Secretary, the question that I have for you is, can you give the committee a name of who you're getting briefed by?
I'm getting briefed by all the time by CDC.
Just a name.
Dr. William Thompson's one name.
Thank you very much, sir. Now,
but I can get you a whole list of others. It's on my schedule.
Mr. Secretary, that's not a hard question. You know a lot of answers.
I'm not being evasive.
Okay, then you answered it. Let's go on. Now, you said that you're soon going to release a study claiming to reveal the cause of autism, timed unsurprisingly with the upcoming ACIP meeting to justify taking vaccines from Americans. Now, as you know, autism affects millions of children. So I guess you'd have the nation's top medical experts working on this. Mr. Kennedy, you hired a man named David Geyer to conduct this study. Is that correct?
No.
Is Mr. David Geyer working for HHS?
He's a contractor, but he's not conducting a study.
He's a contractor?
He's a contractor.
Do you know who works for you, Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Do you know that Mr. Geyer is listed as a HHS on the employee directory as a senior data analyst, not a contractor?
He's a contractor. He's not an SGE.
So is your website wrong?
He's not an SGE. I don't know what.
I'm going to pull up the website for you.
He's a contractor.
If the website says he is a senior data analyst, will you at least admit to the committee?
Well, I don't know if
wrong?
a contractor can be classified as a senior data analyst or not.
Is Mr. Geyer a doctor?
No.
Did you know he never went to medical school?
Well, he's not a doctor.
He's not. He's not practicing medicine.
Did you know that he got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license?
He was charged by a medical board. He sued the medical board, and the medical board was found to have acted in actual malice and was fined $2.6 million by a judge in Maryland for doing that.
See, so you choose to know a lot when you want to know a lot. It's incredible, Mr. Kennedy.
Senator, you're ridiculous.
So here's the question I have. You brought him in to do this study. I think there's no question about it.
I told you he's not doing a study.
Is he participating in the study?
No.
Is he doing any analysis in regards to this study?
No. What he's doing is getting access to the Vaccine Safety Data Link, which is the biggest repository for vaccine information that your friend would not give us for 7 months. For
Mr.
7 months.
Secretary, let me ask you this question, just because you know the answer. What is Mr. Geyer doing?
He is the only one, because Congress ordered CDC to open up the VSD to him in 2002. He's the only outsider who's ever seen it. So because CDC will not give us, they have
Mr. Secretary, is he participating in this then?
No, he is.
You just said he's the only dude that knows what's going on here.
Do you want me to explain it to you, Senator, or do you just want to show? You just want to showboat.
I'll submit this.
You just want to showboat for your ads, or do you want to hear a real answer to your question?
Mr. Secretary, you choose to know answers to questions with some colleagues. And
I'm willing to give you the answer. I'm willing to give you the answer.
Mr. Secretary, someone should have asked you, maybe President Trump should have asked you, are you a trustworthy person? And we should have waited for an answer then. Let's move on.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking gibberish.
Mr. Secretary, let me speak slowly and clearly so that you can understand me through my New Mexico accent.
And then give me a chance to answer.
Does this help? Can you understand me?
Yes.
Appreciate that. Mr. Secretary, yes or no, did you hire Mr. Geyer to do this study?
No.
Still no.
Mr. Chairman, well, let me ask, maybe we'll just get a good answer here. Mr. Secretary?
Shift gears here, buddy.
Will you commit to sharing the protocols used for the autism study with Congress and to the public?
They're public.
Will you commit to giving it to this committee by the end of the week?
No, not because that's not the way it works.
Will you
don't even know what you're talking about.
Mr. Secretary, will you commit to sharing the protocols for the study by the end of the month?
We already have
You just said it's public.
We put out the notice of funding opportunities, and then the scientists from all over the world.
You're not understanding me. Let me
No,
speak
you're
clearly
not
again.
understanding how the world works.
Do you understand what the protocols are? Do you understand what they are?
The scientists who are doing the studies submit the protocol.
Okay, so you know
That's
what
not
they
coming
are.
from us.
So will you commit to sharing those protocols with this committee?
Well, anybody can get a hold of the protocol. It's published with the study.
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to ask is for your commitment here. I'll send a letter to the secretary. I'll ask for support from the leadership of this committee to ask for those protocols. If those protocols are not given to this committee.
Anybody can get the protocols.
Mr. Secretary, I'm not talking to you. Mr. Chairman, what I'm asking.
If the protocols are public, we can work with you to.
What I'm asking, Mr. Chairman, is that if those protocols are not given to this committee, I'm asking for your agreement that we follow through with a subpoena to get them.
No, I will not agree to subpoena anything. Let's see what happens.
Mr. Chairman, you'll help me get them if they're available publicly?
Yes.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kennedy, with all the questions here today, people just want to know the truth.
I don't think so.
Mr. Secretary, you don't think so. Thank you.
I don't think so.
I hope everyone recording that got that, because there explains the Secretary's tenure here. Look, 2 young ladies in Las Cruces, New Mexico, at a town hall recently gave me this starfish pin. I was going to give it to you today, but after your questioning today, I don't think you deserve it, because what this represents is to remember that every one of us can make a difference, sir, to something as small as a starfish on a beach that maybe got washed up, you throw it back in the ocean. You might not save them all, but you can save one. I'm sorry that you're not worthy of this nice little pin, sir, as a nice reminder. I'm going to pray for you, Secretary Kennedy. I hope we do better. I want you to do better, but today was a failure for you, man.
A production from Friacom.
Man, what a... I can't say DA, can I?
Well, that was a production for sure.
Holy smokes, what an idiot.
Oh, my.
Every time I thought, wow, he really got cooked on that one. He outdid himself on the next round of questioning.
Dude, when you're losing that bad, you don't at the end go, I was going to give you a starfish pin.
But you don't deserve it.
As everybody knows, the starfish is a symbol of second chances and wisdom. And now you don't get it.
Oh, gosh. My favorite thing about Kennedy is that he's like, you guys are dumb. You're idiots. You don't know what you're doing.
You're just speaking gibberish.
You're just making stuff up. Oh, gosh. It's so good. It doesn't get better than that. So that's what the senator from New Mexico, Lujan, who I now know because he made an ass out of himself in front of everybody. I say that in the Democrat...
Yeah,
donkey.
Like J.D. Vance would make an elephant out of himself.
Yes, he's the elephant in the room.
It's not FCC.
Everybody knows. What a doofus. There you go. How about that? Hans von Spakovsky on the aggressive lawfare and activist judges trying to stop Donald Trump at every turn. That's how you know he's over the target. They haven't stopped from the last battlefield that they feel like they can actually fight on, because clearly the Senate is not one of them for the Democrats. We'll be right back with Hans. Don't go away.
We could live beside the ocean. Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
In 2008, the Housing and Economic Recovery Act was passed and gave enormous authority to this position in which I sit. It didn't happen by accident. There was a housing crash. A big part of the reason that there was a housing crash was because people were buying mortgages and engaging in mortgage fraud. So I'm not going to be intimidated from pursuing mortgage fraud just because somebody has the special title of being a Fed governor. This is my job to ensure the safety and soundness of the mortgage market. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or Democrat or a Fed governor or somebody who mans a convenience store. If you commit mortgage fraud, you need to be held accountable, period.
People of the United States.
More perfect.
Your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Well, Hans, lawfare or activist judges, whatever it is that they're going to have to do to stop Donald Trump, it continues. Welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear us okay? There you go.
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
All right, perfect. I want to talk about Lisa Cook. This is a name that has been leading some of the headlines for the last week or so. And Fox Business reports that the Justice Department has formally opened a criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook as part of an effort to determine whether she submitted fraudulent information on mortgage applications. Can you talk to us a little bit about this mortgage fraud that we heard Pulte talking about there? And why is the Trump administration seeking out these types of situations so much? And why, if Lisa Cook has been asked to leave her job, is she not leaving?
Well, she's got two separate homes, one in Michigan, another in Atlanta, and then a third, a condominium in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And what they are investigating is whether she lied on the mortgage application. There's actually a federal statute on this. People can look it up. It's 18 U.S.C. 1014. And what it basically says is you're committing a felony violation of the law if you lie on an application for a bank loan at an institution that's insured by the feds. And what they would have to show in this case is, and the issue is, did she list all three of these homes as her primary residence? The condo in Massachusetts, for example, she listed as a second home on the application, even though apparently she was using it as a rental property. Now, in order to be successful in a prosecution under this statute, you not only have to show that you lied. For example, you said it was going to be your primary residence, even though you weren't actually going to live there. Maybe you're going to use it as rental property. You have to show that the lie was material to the loan. So what they would have to show is that, one, they lied. They said, oh, yeah, it's going to be my primary residence, and it isn't. But then they have to show that the bank was damaged by that. And what that means is, did the bank, for example, give her a lower interest rate because they believed it was a primary residence? Because, if you buy something that's, for example, a rental property, the bank's going to charge you a higher interest rate. So you have to show both that you lied and that the bank was damaged because they, like I said, gave you, for example, a lower interest rate than you normally would have. Now, look, if you're found guilty, it's pretty serious. You can be fined huge amounts of money. You can be forced to pay restitution, and you can go to prison for many years if you do that. And what I found interesting about this, Annie, was that the grand jury investigation apparently that's been opened is down in Atlanta. And that may be because a number of years ago, the Justice Department actually prosecuted Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby was the local DA in Baltimore, Maryland, and she did the same thing. She lives in Maryland. She's a DA in Maryland, but she apparently bought a place in Florida and claimed it was going to be her primary residence. She was convicted, but the Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit recently overturned her conviction, not because she didn't do it, but because they convicted her in Maryland. And what the court said was, well, you should have done this down in Florida because it's down in Florida where the fraud occurred.
You know, I'm reading about this. I'm listening to you talk about this, and it seems as though to allege these types of, allegations towards Lisa Cook, they have to have pretty basic evidence to say this is what happened, this is what's on the paper. That they probably got her dead to rights on what she did. Maybe she has an explanation for it, but I don't know if the explanation would absolve her of the crime. President Trump fired her, essentially, correct? President Trump tried to remove her from her position, and then the court stepped in and said, not so fast. I assume that on the Federal Reserve Board, Lisa Cook does not serve at the pleasure of the president.
No, the way the Federal Reserve was set up, the president can fire a member of the Federal Board of Governors for cause. And the president is saying that he had cause to fire her because of this. She has filed a lawsuit claiming that his firing of her was unlawful. Like you said, we're going to have to see what happens. One, it's going to be very interesting to see what the grand jury says. Will they indict her? If she's indicted, I think she's going to have a hard time arguing that there's not good cause for the president to fire her. Now, an indictment doesn't mean you've been convicted, but I think it's pretty hard to operate as a governor of the Federal Reserve System while you are in court defending a criminal prosecution.
So we understand that the chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, no friend of Donald Trump, certainly, he's to be replaced in the spring after a standard 10-year term. Is that correct?
Yeah, his term will expire.
So how can you give us some just basic foundational understanding of how the Fed works and how it's compromised? Because it's clearly supposed to be a nonpartisan entity where the administration that's in charge can't just staff it full of people who have a certain type of ideology. It needs to have a little bit of a removal from the politics of the moment. If Lisa Cook is removed from this board, where does her replacement come from, and how does that affect the Federal Reserve?
Well, the president gets to pick. President gets to pick a replacement. Somebody needs to be with knowledge about financial affairs. There's all these accusations that Jerome Powell, during the 2024 election, when the economic conditions were such that he should have lowered interest rates, didn't lower interest rates, and there have been allegations that he acted to try to enhance the ability of Joe Biden to get reelected. I don't know whether that's true or not, but he doesn't have a clean slate. Like I said, there have been accusations made that he has acted for political reasons. The power of the Federal Reserve is that they set the interest rates for federal funding, and banks basically they don't have to have the same lending rate as whatever the Fed say, but they use the federal lending rate to determine what their lending rate is. And right now that's the interest rates are pretty darn high, particularly for young professionals, people just getting out of school, starting their first jobs, who want to buy their first homes, which has become very, very difficult.
Yeah, it certainly is. Real quick before we let you go, is the way that the left, the activist left, is using the justice system, the judges, the favorable judges to their cause, is this unprecedented?
Yeah, it is. I don't think we've ever seen a bigger threat to our democratic process or to our republic and the way it works than what we are getting from federal judges who are issuing basically lawless decisions, I think for political reasons, to stop the policies of the Trump administration, policies that are perfectly lawful, but they want to stop them. Because they couldn't defeat him in the election, they're now trying to do it through the courts. And that is a threat to our system.
It certainly is. Hans, thank you for being with us today and for that precursor. A lot of people hearing this discussed, and I always appreciate getting to the bottom of it with you, Hans. We hope you come back next week.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky, the Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a DOJ lawyer and former FEC commissioner. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discuss, just for a minute, the YouTube live chat poll. Can Chicago flip red? And the reason we ask you that question is because Danielle Carter from Chicago Flips Red is going to be on with us at 1 o'clock. So in 30 minutes from right now, we're going to have Danielle right here on the Annie Fry Show to talk about Chicago Flips Red as an entity. They're doing the rounds right now on the cable news media. You see a lot of Chicago Flips Red. And obviously, we know here a little more personally what Illinois is up against as a whole. We talk about it a lot. I want you to know a little bit more about Chicago Flips Red as an entity and what they're doing to address those problems that we're keenly aware of plaguing Chicago, Cook County, and resulting in the state of Illinois. Keep it right here. Let's discuss if Chicago can flip red next.
Were meant to cut me down, and if my love was just a circus, you'd be a clown by now. No, I'm still standing better than I ever did. Looking like
RulerFoods.com. Please go to RulerFoods.com and learn about the savings that are there every day for you to enjoy. But specifically right now, $1.47 per pound for red and white seedless grapes. We go through these. It doesn't matter how many grapes we buy. We go through them too fast. It's just they get consumed in our house like crazy. Heritage Farm boneless, skinless chicken breast. We like to make buffalo chicken wraps with this, $2.47 per pound. Here's the deal you don't want to miss. If you buy 2 Super Saver items, get 1 free. Choose from Kroger shredded lettuce, Big K 12 packs, Kroger pasta sauce, Kroger grade A large eggs, and private selection cheese. Buy 2 items, get 1 free. Folks, there are eggs in that list. Go get them. Whether you're planning meals, stocking up for the week, or if you're just looking for a great deal for dinner tonight, go to Ruler Foods and enjoy the savings and fill up that grocery cart for less. RulerFoods.com is the website where you can put your zip code in and find the one that's closest to you. They're in the bi-state region, and they're all over the place. And the savings can be shipped directly to your door when you visit the website, RulerFoods.com.
Online security is a must, and millions are choosing NordVPN to stay safer and more private online. And you can do that too. Get NordVPN with 77% off and up to 3 months extra. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic from data snoopers and internet service providers, while NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro will reduce risk of phishing and alert you about the fake online shops and known scams. And that's not all. If your email address is leaked to the dark web, you will get an instant notification from the Dark Web Monitor and act accordingly. Get the special NordVPN deal today at nordvpn.com. This offer includes a 77% discount on a 2-year plan and up to 3 extra months. Savings and additional terms apply and can be found on nordvpn.com. The offer is valid until October 15th.
Can Chicago flip red? Yes, it can, is one of the options. No, but 25% is possible, or not a chance. That's today's YouTube live chat poll. We're going to talk about it. You can join that discussion by logging on to YouTube and leaving a comment and voting there. 12:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Midwest Made. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I did some research last night. I was texting some of my friends in the state of Illinois and politics in the state of Illinois. And I was saying, here's the question. I've always heard that it's 22% of Cook County goes red. Republicans win the statewide race in Illinois. People get sick and tired of Chicago. People want to separate from Chicago. I understand the sentiment of cutting Cook County off and saying, no thanks, we're good. I get that. We are a better state. We are a better state if we have Chicago functioning. But Annie, you've been alive for 41 years. Has Chicago ever been fully functioning? I don't know. So I think there was a line in Austin Powers where he says, like, I want a toilet made out of solid gold, but it's just not in the cards, is it? Is that where we are? Is that the state of Chicago? Is that the state? Is that the state of Chicago right now, politically, where Chicago is a complete and total lost cause? But because the fact that Chicago doesn't need to be 50.1% red in order for us to win a statewide election. One of my, she is a precinct committeeman, and she is, I think, a delegate for the state of Illinois. I asked her last night, and I've traveled with her, and she's wonderful. And she said, if we won 25% of Cook County, it would be a landslide election for the Republicans.
Okay.
We got to be sniffing at 25% territory if the vote were held right now. Or maybe, like, assuming Donald Trump comes in, makes the city safer than it's been in quite some time, there is a realistic understanding that Donald Trump can come in, he can make it safe, and then when he leaves, the crime will come back. But if you make it safe through increased security and increased commitment to law enforcement, now you've told the taxpayers there that it's possible, that it doesn't have to be this way. If Donald Trump's the one who is willing to do that, and J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson have said, heck no, get that crap out of here. I think that we could be flirting with 25% Cook County.
Well, that's the way it would happen. If Donald Trump is able to solve the crime problem, or at least make a huge dent in it, and that is such a visible change that everybody would be able to see, that, yeah, you're not going to convince the dyed-in-the-wool Democrats of deep blue Chicago, all of them. But can you convince...
Don't need to.
Exactly. Can you convince a quarter of them? Right now, I would actually say no to this, except that one change could happen and flip that thing.
You said you'd say no. The question is, can Chicago flip red? The poll is on the Annie Fry YouTube channel in our live broadcast. Your options are yes, not a chance, are no, but 25% is possible. So when we have Danielle from Chicago Flips Red, she's the VP of Chicago Flips Red. When she comes on the show at 1 o'clock, I'm going to ask her, do you really think you can flip Chicago red? Because the truth of the matter is we don't need to. The truth of the matter is, this is what I was getting to before. I didn't drop the statistic in there. But Chicago is like 65%. Cook County is 65% of the population of Illinois. So when people are like, the way Chicago goes is the way the state goes. They are 2/3 of the state when it comes to people. It's not unrealistic. It's not unfair in the sense to say that they should have a 2/3 say in the way that the state goes. The problem is those people get a hold of government and then they gerrymander the heck out of the rest of the state. So even folks down here don't have 44% of the state votes for Donald Trump for president. That's pretty close. That's not cool. That's not purple state, but it's not the bluest of blue states that you think it's going to be. We have 17.6% of the congressional seats. 3 out of 17 seats.
Of the federal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 17.6% of the seats available to the state of Illinois are represented by Republicans. 44% of the state of Illinois voted for Trump. 44% of the state of Illinois voted for Trump, and not a single seat changed hands in the last election in state government. The power stayed the same. This is why it's so patently offensive for the Texas Democrats to come to Illinois to be like, look what they're trying to do in Texas. And it's like, worst case scenario, the Texas Republicans are following the Illinois Democrats' lead, but that's not even accurate. The facts of the situation aren't even the same. But Illinois Democrats are the most egregious example of this in the nation. So when we have Danielle Carter on at 1 o'clock, and we ask her, do you really believe that Chicago can flip red? If her answer is, no, we're not going to get a majority of the vote to go Republican in Chicago. Remember that if we get, according to my friend who is very active in Illinois state politics, if we get 25% of Cook County, statewide Republican landslide. There are 0 statewide positions held by Republicans, and the closest that we got to last year was the Attorney General with Tom DeVore, and that would have been a treat. What a treat it would have been to watch Tom DeVore be the Attorney General. We've got a lot of people throwing their hat in the ring to be the governor. Darren Bailey, who was the nominee, the Republican representative right now, he's very much so sniffing around an announcement. He's kind of doing that, I've decided that I'm going to run, but I'm going to trot it out there and see what happens. Soft launch kind of a situation. I like Darren Bailey a lot. I've worked with him for years. I mean, for probably 7 years, when he was a state representative, when he was a state senator, when he was candidate for Republican governor. But I don't think he's the guy who can win the race. I think that he had a shot. I think he did a great job with what he had. I don't think that Darren Bailey is the guy that's going to put Illinois in the red category in what I consider to be a winnable race for Republicans for governor. If J.B. Pritzker runs for a third term, he is so incredibly unpopular. You can tell by the meemaws out there, the old white lady protesters who have a lot of time, probably a certain amount of money, because they're on their retired end. The meemaws out there love J.B. Pritzker. They're the only ones. The other people don't love him. They might be like, definitely not a Trump person, not a Republican. The meemaws love J.B. Pritzker. Nobody else does. And if you bring something fresh, new, and like I said, you've got 2 things to focus on: crime and taxes. Everything else is details that you're never even going to get to, because the amount of seats that you would have to move in the General Assembly just to get out of the super minority for Republicans, there is no possible way that you could get the staunchest pro-life Republican into the governor's seat. He's not going to be able to do anything on abortion that has to go through the General Assembly. Even if you got a moderate General Assembly, they might stop being so freaking radical on the issue, but there's going to be no Missouri abortion pro-life effort in the state of Illinois, I dare to say, in my lifetime. That's not what Illinois is going to be about. But I know a lot of people who vote left who are actually pro-life, and they look at what Illinois is doing and they shun their head away from it because it's so deplorable what we're doing here. Those social issues in the state of Illinois are safe. The babies aren't, but the leftist issues are. Taxes and crime. Fix the law and order problem, and support the citizens of the state of Illinois by lowering their tax burden and start spending money responsibly for once in my lifetime. Let's talk more about it a little bit later in the show. Danielle Carter is going to be with us. I'm looking forward to talking to her. She's the VP of Chicago Flips Red. You've seen her on TV quite a bit. She's all over social media and has been for a long time before Fox has been picking her up. She'll be with us on the Annie Fry Show. We're going to learn about Chicago Flips Red then. When we come back, Wiggins America, the psychology of TDS. TDS. It's like something you cheer at a sporting event or a Senate hearing.
Yeah, the second one.
Let's do that once. Let's crash the Senate hearing. He's like, TDS.
I just snorted.
You did. Wiggins America next. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. A 5-year warranty comes along with that polyjacking of that uneven concrete at your home. That is a trip hazard. It's ugly, but it's also a trip hazard, and you do not want mom or your mother-in-law coming over and tripping on that. Oh my gosh, don't even like to think about that at all. Get that concrete leveled out with a cost-effective solution from Home Shield Foundation Repair. Like I said, Matt Hayes, direct line, 314-227-9636. That polyjacking system brings a polyurethane foam, injects it underneath the concrete to level it out. It's incredibly strong. And like I said, a 5-year warranty to back up the services. You will be very grateful that you went along the lines of this cost-effective way to handle the situation. 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. You can also learn everything you need to know about Matt Hayes and the organization at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Scott Jennings here. I'm excited to be part of the St. Louis conservative conversation, cutting through the noise with unfiltered common sense.
Scott Jennings.
Weekdays at 8 p.m.
on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw, or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
How familiar are you with Trump derangement syndrome?
I know a few.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think we all have met people with Trump derangement syndrome. It is something that rears its ugly head more and more these days with Trump as the president of the United States. So I decided let's take a look at the psychology of Trump derangement syndrome.
Dr.
TDS.
Wiggins.
Thank you very much. Just for the next 5 minutes or so.
Just like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and I found some Dr. Pepper Zero Cherry that is fantastic.
And that's where he got his degree.
That's correct.
At the bottom of a can.
In Texas. Made a pilgrimage to the creation of Dr.
It's not
Pepper.
really where I would go to find TDS, but go on.
Okay, fine. So Trump derangement syndrome, this is from Therapy Group DC. So this is nonpartisan, by the way. This is not
I don't know. DC is one letter short of DNC, but go on.
I would say, if anything, it's left-leaning, but it's definitely not right-leaning.
But they're right. The lefties are writing about TDS.
Yeah, and this is a pretty thick article too.
Don't read it all.
Trump derangement syndrome is not a diagnosis; it is political slang.
That sounds like something I would say if I had that disease.
It says supporters of Donald Trump coined it as a rhetorical jab, claiming critics are so blinded by dislike that they can't perceive reality. The label discredits rather than describes, and its very existence shows how political language can blur the line between clinical insight and partisan insult.
Oh, it's like when they called Christians domestic terrorists. Go on.
It is similar.
No, wait, but that actually had the weight of the federal government. Go on.
Right. So this is how the label works in practice. It says it triggers an intense emotional reaction. If you are on the receiving end of this, you might feel anxiety, anger, and relentless rumination that can flood anyone exposed to that label.
Have you heard about people having therapist-needed level anxiety over climate change? It's a generational thing. Like Ethan's,
is it younger people?
Yes.
This
They think the world is going to end.
Yes.
But that's an extension of TDS.
Yeah, it is. It is an extension of the same sort of fear-mongering that everything that happens is the end of the world. Because that's what TDS ultimately is. It's that every action that he takes is going to dramatically alter your life for the negative forever.
Because he's evil.
Because he's evil. Like there's nothing that he does that's not going to end in absolute horror.
And the manipulators in the Democrat Party know that if they've exposed that nerve, they just have to strike it to cause you to react.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing you. Go on.
Anyone exposed to the label, while those branded deranged may feel stigmatized,
Oh.
they may even withdraw or fire back, fueling a cycle of rising stress and distance for anyone involved. It also, and here's I think where they actually start to get into something, it puts your identity on the line. Over the past few decades, political affiliation has fused more tightly with personal identity. Criticism of a favored or hated leader can feel like an attack on the person themselves instead of just on the politics or the policy involved. And I think that's very true. The article goes on to explain that there are some signs that, as they call it, political stress, but it's TDS, might be taking a toll. Number one is
dye your hair.
Heightened. Tell me if, I mean, really, are these things that you would notice about somebody if you said, oh, yeah, that's TDS? Heightened irritability.
Yeah.
Political conversations crank up their anger.
Yeah.
Verbal expressions of hostility linger, whether aimed at your side or the other. President Trump or Biden, it could say, signal that political stress is starting to get under your skin.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah.
The next one would be strained relationships.
Yeah.
Political disagreements that can damage friendships or family bonds. This is where it's gone so far.
People in the, Republican conservative people do not cut leftists out of their lives. Leftists cut people out of their lives if they're not the right ideology.
I think with a broad stroke brush, that's true. Yeah. I'm not saying that never happens, but it's look. I'll ask this: in your office place, as you're listening, in your office place or your work site, is it more common to be quiet about politics if you're conservative or if you're liberal?
All the time. It's like if I'm trying to assess a situation, I'm like, have they ever said anything that suggests that they're leftists? And they're like, no. I'm like, they're conservative.
Yeah, if they've never said anything,
yeah.
You're like,
if they're
probably conservative.
If they're on the left, they can't keep it in.
Probably gonna hear about it.
And I mean like passionately on the left. If you're someone who's moderate if you're kind of fiscally conservative, socially libertarian to liberal on a few issues, you're probably not somebody who's like who I would label as you are on the left. Because there's people who are on the right, and those people will be vocal too. But I feel like a lot of those people were more vocal during the campaign. At least for me, I'm always thinking, just let the president cook. I mean, what do I need to advocate for? I don't need to win anybody over.
Yeah, we work with people here who are moderate left.
Yeah.
Who they're not super vocal about everything.
Mm-mm.
Although we also are in a unique environment because we're obviously like wear it on
You
your
talk to
shirt
them while they're sitting on the
conservatives.
toilet in the bathroom over the
yeah.
speaker. Hi.
That's not
Looking
very
at
common
you.
in a normal workplace. We've had people start here who are not in the radio side of things.
Yeah.
Who are like, oh, you guys are like super openly conservative. And we're like, yes, we're openly on the radio.
It's a really private conversation just between the three of us every day that has a speaker or two.
Exactly. How about physical stress symptoms? Stress can manifest physically, too. If you're experiencing headaches or having trouble sleeping, it could be linked to, as they say, political anxiety, or in this article, TDS. I don't know personally anybody who's experiencing physical problems. They don't usually tell you, I'm experiencing physical problems, and it's probably linked to my political beliefs. It's hard to find, but I bet that is happening. Let's see. There's so much. This is such a thick article. Last couple things here is that they dig into evidence-based approaches that will work well for political anxiety. And basically, it's a bunch of different therapies, like you were just talking about, that people can jump into
When
therapy.
Donald Trump lost in 2020, I sought out being around people who understood how I was feeling, but I don't feel like we talked about it a lot. You just kind of were together because you knew that everybody was kind of in the same headspace.
And you'd make a comment here or there that'd just be like, oh, well, here we go with that.
It
And it's
wasn't
just like,
public
okay.
either. I didn't
Yeah.
want it to be public. I'm in a different situation.
It's hard,
but
yeah.
It's just I definitely think that TDS is a real thing, and I don't know that like a therapist's office is where you're gonna go find the most diagnoses of it.
Wouldn't that be straight? I mean, being a therapist, can you imagine somebody coming in and being like, I think I suffer from TDS?
Danielle Carter coming up with us next. The VP of Chicago Flips Red and Harris Faulkner in the 1 o'clock hour. Keep it right here.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A war on cartels. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Trump administration designating 2 Ecuadorian gangs as foreign terrorist organizations, just days after warning that more drug boats will be targeted after a U.S. strike on a vessel in the Caribbean.
We're not just going to hunt for drug dealers with the little fast boats and say, oh, let's try to arrest them. No, the president has said he wants to wage war on these groups because they've been waging war on us for 30 years and no one has responded. But there's no need to do that in many cases with the friendly governments because the friendly governments are going to help us. They may do it themselves.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Ecuador saying the new designations bring all sorts of options for the U.S. government to crack down on violent groups. The U.S. Health Secretary facing calls to resign and pushing back at a Senate hearing where there's also some bipartisan concern about changes at the CDC, including the firing of Director Susan Menares.
Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. tells the Senate Finance Committee the shakeup was absolutely necessary.
It's imperative that we remove officials with conflicts of interest and catastrophically bad judgment and political agendas. We need unbiased, politics-free, transparent, evidence-based science.
Democrats on the committee are calling on the Health and Human Services Secretary to resign, saying he's discarding well-established science related to vaccines and elevating conspiracy theorists.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on the Hill. The Justice Department issuing subpoenas in an investigation of a fired Federal Reserve Board member.
Sources confirm to Fox News the Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation into Lisa Cook, the Federal Reserve governor, challenging her dismissal by President Trump. Cook is accused by a federal regulator of mortgage fraud. That, President Trump says, provides legal cause to fire Cook. Federal prosecutors are issuing subpoenas as part of a probe in the mortgage applications made by Cook.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Attorneys for Cook say her firing is political. America is listening to Fox News.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
No complaints about this weather. Partly to mostly sunny skies. The northwest flow has opened up again. 75 for the high. Great this evening. Clear skies, 62. Friday, partly sunny, maybe a spot thunderstorm. Late Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Do not expect much. 78. Mid to upper 70s and sunny over the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
This guy, Pritzker, he should be ashamed of himself to say that 54 shootings that's not enough to bring in extra law enforcement. That is simply a denial of your obligation. It is a rejection of your oath to protect the people.
So there you have Jeanine Pirro, United States Attorney for D.C., knows a little bit about fighting crime. And I guess what we have to do first is identify that the crime even exists. Like, is it in the room with us? Yes, it's very close to being in the room with us. Chicago, Illinois, we talk about that quite a bit. Myself as a resident of Illinois, but here living in, working in the city of St. Louis, we have a lot of the same similar types of issues that Chicago has. And we understand that if you don't identify the crime, you can't possibly solve the crime. Let's talk to Danielle Carter. She joins us, the vice president of Chicago Flips Red. I've been watching you, Danielle, for quite some time. You were kicking butt and taking names in Chicago, which is more than I can say for our governor. Thanks for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for having me on the show.
You bet. I want to make sure people understand if they've been exposed to Chicago Flips Red here in the last few weeks because J.B. Pritzker is showing his ignorance to the entire country by repudiating what Donald Trump wants to offer Chicago. You've been fighting for common sense to be restored in Chicago for quite some time. And I want to give you the opportunity to talk before we discuss the news of the day. To talk to us about what Chicago Flips Red is, how long has it been around, and what are you trying to do?
Well, Chicago Flips Red. Well, we, the founder Zoe Lee, she's been, they've been going down there and fighting this for about, I want to say maybe 3 years now. But Chicago Flips Red itself, we're going on a year now, and we are here because we are a bunch of conservatives who understood that this wasn't making no sense. We had no help in Chicago, and we understood that Democratic policies were destroying and very destructive to Chicago, let alone its citizens. So we decided to, with each one of us, we had our differences. Mine was Zoe was the founder. They unlawfully demolished her mother property. With me, they were placing illegal aliens all into my community. So, other members, we all had different gripes, but we came together and established Chicago Flips Red because we knew that it was time that we needed to take down this Democratic stronghold in Chicago and bring back common sense. So that's basically, and we're a grassroots organization, and we're just here to give the people a voice, the regular citizens a voice to that, to that's it, just to give them a voice.
Yeah, it's so important. Danielle Carter with us, VP of Chicago Flips Red. You're going to want to connect with them. You can go to chicagoflipsred.com and learn more. Also on X at Flip Chicago Red. Do you feel like there is a main issue that actually, like you said, your grassroots effort? So there's a ton of legwork, a ton of grunt work that goes into being an effective grassroots organization. Is the crime the issue in Chicago, in that area, that really kind of permeates out into the community that gives you the biggest platform to reach people?
It's everything, really. It's everything. It's crime. It's the poverty. It's being see, the thing is, in Chicago, right, we and I want to just talk about in the Black community, because see, we the ones who vote blue no matter who. So because we were not taught to be politically educated, we just vote because, they give us a black face, or we vote because we were told to, and not understanding policies. But when you look at policies, you understand why we are in the climate we're in now and what's going on. So when I say that to say, because people usually say, well, why, you see what's going on, why do you all keep voting that way? Because like I said, we're not politically educated. So it's not just the crime, it's the education, it's the financial. Because see, the Democratic Party, they have used us and made us believe that we're victims, and it's in a mindset that we are oppressed. And so when you do that, then you're gonna have, and they get paid off that. So when it comes down to that, they get paid off keeping us thinking that we are oppressed and we are we can't do anything. So when you look at everything, then that's when you understand why the crime is this, why the low education is this, and everything that's going on in our communities in Chicago. So I think it's just a total of everything. We don't have with the mental health facilities, when you have, we're dealing with high crime. And so when you have that, we see kids getting killed in our community. This is almost like they want to normalize this. So we don't have mental health facilities to deal with that. Rahm Emanuel, which was the previous mayor before, Lori, that he eradicated all our mental health facilities. So you're having people that's undiagnosed. You're having soft on policy crime, which is Prisker, the Safety Act, and the no cash bail.
Yeah.
So, and then you're telling people that they are oppressed, and that, and then and they can't do anything. So on top of that, you create a climate for what's happening. So yes, it's crime. It's not being educated. The education system is trash. The CPS, they're the big CTU. That's the biggest crime organization ever. So when you look at everything, yes, it's just not crime. It's so much layers to this.
Yeah.
It's, and that's what it is. But crime is definitely a big factor in this.
When I'm listening to what you're saying, and we have a lot of these similar issues on the Missouri side of the Mississippi River in St. Louis. A lot of similarities. Chicago, much bigger than St. Louis, but the issues do remain. I live across in the Illinois side, and Southern Illinois and Cook County, there's kind of a contentious relationship there, but it's so refreshing to see what you've been doing, what your organization has been doing, because we have so much in common. We want the same things. And I think what we want as citizens, as taxpayers, as voters in the state of Illinois, is we want hope. We want a realistic understanding that our home and our hope can exist in the exact same place. And what I hear you saying about what the Democrat Party wants from Chicago, you're talking about the black community, and I'll let you speak on that. But it sounds like they want you to understand that you kind of live in a hopeless existence and your only hope comes from the Democrat Party. What kind of hope do you offer if Chicago flips red? What kind of hope is offered to these people to think maybe for the first time, maybe I don't have to just maybe I just don't have to accept this way of life. Maybe there is something better on the red side.
Yes, it is. And it is, this is what they bring, because this is really between good and evil. And Satan, he don't want you, he wants you to walk around hopelessness.
Yes.
And this is what the Democrat offer to, and it's just not the black community. It's just that I'm just addressing us because we the ones who vote blue no matter who in high numbers. But this is for the citizens, the liberals. They feel like, and I want to, the white liberals, they feel like they're helping us. And we understand what's going on, but they don't, because you don't live nowhere around us and you are not there to see what's going on. So I just believe that when you just set aside everything from the feelings to what you feel and everything like that, and you just look at policies, I believe the policies you cannot, you when you look at policy, it's no comparison, because the red. Well, we know right now, because in every every Democratic ran city or state, they all look the same. So you have to now start addressing policies, because you cannot, everything that's happening with us or Chicago, you cannot blame a Republican, because Republicans, we haven't had a Republican since 1931. A Republican has been nowhere found in this. So you have to see who has been in charge all this time. And when you see the machine, which is the Democratic machine in Chicago, when you look at what's going on in the policies and how bad it's gotten, it's the policies. So we believe that we can educate people on just policies. One, the red and blue. The red is not for sanctuary cities or open borders. We understand the blue is. The Democrats are, and that's what's killing us. The Biden and Harris administration opened the border. They let 22 million unvetted people over here. Most of them had fled to sanctuary cities, and they've been put in our community. So that's one thing. So that's one reason we can really let people understand. One is for not teaching your kids transgender, not like right now. We was just protesting one of these libraries, a public library. They were holding drag queen story hours from the ages 0 through 5. They were having story hour, a drag queen show, and gender affirming stations to kids 0 through 5. This is what's allowed to be taught in our public schools.
Right.
Like I said, the red is not for that. The blue is for that. When they come down to taxes, now we see that how the Democratic Party, Brandon Johnson, Pritzker, the only solution they have is tax us, tax the small business. I'm a small business owner. I'm a trainer. So this is what they do. They tax us. That's why we have all the businesses leaving and fleeing to red states, because they understand about low regulations. They understand that you have to take care of your small business owners and your small business, because that's what makes your economy great. So these are just some of the things that I know for a fact, that whether you red, blue, independent, people can understand and identify that don't nobody want to pay high property taxes.
Right.
Most people with common sense don't want open borders.
Right.
Most people with common sense don't want their kids being taught you can be a girl or boy. And then not only that, they don't have to tell you. So that means I teach I train teachers. So that means you can have your children go to school and they can want to be a boy can want to be a girl, and the school can allow him to dress like that or call them that name, and they don't even have to tell you.
Keep it a secret.
And we know. Yeah, we know that kids can we're not for sex operations on kids, to get them to change their gender. We're not for that. The blue is for that, the red not. I'm not for abortions. I'm not for, now if you do that, that's on you. That's between you and God. But just to push that and make that a way of life as if that's a form of birth control. This is what the blue they believe. I believe, I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ. I believe in man, woman, child. I believe in life. So everything that we as really people, when you think about it, what you align with as far as your belief and everything as an American, the Democratic Party is showing us right now that they're anti-American. They are for foreigners and they are for transgender rights. And that's it. That's what we try to get people to understand. And when you do that, most people can say, you know what, even though I might not, because they have the fake news have Black people especially hating Trump so much, calling him racist. People don't even know why they call him racist, but they want to call him racist. They have pushed that so much until people don't even know why what you hate about this man. Why do you hate this man? They don't know. So when you take away that Trump, the face, and just deal with policies, most people can identify with the policies.
Absolutely. Danielle Carter with us right now. Before we let you go, we're asking our audience on our YouTube channel while we're broadcasting here on 97.1, can Chicago flip red? Now, I've been told from my connections within the Illinois Republican Party that we need about 22 to 24% of Chicago, Cook County, to turn red in order to put Republicans in statewide offices and make an actual difference in the General Assembly.
Right.
What is your actual realistic goal for your grassroots entity? Do you think you can flip Chicago red? How red can it get?
I know we can, because see, and I'm just going to be honest, the Republican Party here, they have never came to Chicago and did outreach and really put in the work that should have been done. That's what the Democratic Party has mastered. They have mastered coming into your churches, mastered coming into your schools, lying to you. But this is what they do. But it took, so we never had people to really pour into Chicago, the Republicans anyway, to pour into Chicago. Now you have a group that's from Chicago, born and raised right here on the South Side. So you have that, and I'm telling you what the issues are. They know me. Everybody in Chicago know Danielle. They know, okay, Danielle is me. When they look at me, they see themselves. So if Danielle is saying this and doing this, is talking and going to outreach programs, knocking on doors, telling you, educating you about things, then hold on, let me see what's going on. So now they're listening. At first, my business, it hurt. It did take it hurt for a minute, but now the people are now sending a message saying, hey, Danny, I see what you were saying. Hey, I understand. Hey, we behind you. What do you need me to do? So we understand the silent majority. Some people can't come out because Chicago is really, they retaliate against you, especially if you're a business owner. If you have your car, you might get more tickets on your car.
Chicago
so people are scared to come out and voice their opinion, but we get so many emails saying we're behind you. And we know that we are the ones, because we're putting in that work. We're going house to house, door to door. We're going to all the city council meetings. We are showing on YouTube and on social media the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. We're showing it, and people are saying, oh my God, I didn't even know this was happening. You have people who don't even know this is happening. So now my videos were and we'll get like 1,000. Now it's 100 and something thousand. It's all people from Chicago saying, "Oh my God, thank you. This is going." Now we're getting emails. Hey, can you help my grandmother? Could you help over here on 60? So it's like it's happening.
It's
and
good
we're so
grassroots.
excited.
Yes, it's fantastic grassroots. And Danielle, I got to wrap here, but I do want to tell you that we've got a whole bunch of Southern Illinois folks listen to this show. They come to me for what's going on in Illinois from a Southern standpoint. And when I see what you're doing in Chicago, I think we got to partner up with them. We have to support the work that you're doing. So talk to me real quick. People listening right now who have a passion, who don't want to leave their home. I've got a Centennial farm that I'm born and raised on. My husband, same thing in his family. We don't want to leave our home. We want to keep hope where our home is. How do we help you win Chicago back? Because that is for the whole state.
Okay, well, we really need help. If you want to donate or anything, buy merchandise like the hats and the shirts and things, you can go to ChicagoFlipsRed.com. That's our website. Or you can also email us at info@ChicagoFlipsRed.com, info@ChicagoFlipsRed.com, or like I said, the website, ChicagoFlipsRed.com.
Well, I'm going to go here and order a hat for myself. Danielle, thank you for coming on with us. I hope I'm going to have Brad send you another request to get you back on here because the story's not going to go away. We've got a big election in 2026 for Illinois, and you are going to be a huge part of success that all of the state of Illinois is going to be grateful for. We're thankful for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Danielle Carter, Vice President of Chicago Flips Red. And I'm serious when I say you want to support getting the state of Illinois some common sense back. Go to ChicagoFlipsRed.com and support that grassroots effort. She's right. The Illinois Republican Party has not been able to, I don't know if they haven't tried or if they've tried and they failed. They haven't gone into Chicago. And because of that, we don't play in Chicago. We need 25% of Cook County for a landslide in a statewide election for Illinois. And we've got those statewide elections coming up next year, next November in 2026. We can make a dramatic change to our state. You think Chicago can't get red? We had a Republican governor in 2017. We had a Republican senator in the 2010s. We can do it. We just got to get our heads together, work with those people who have a common cause. And to me, in my estimation, Chicago Flips Red has exactly the right cause in front of them. Go to ChicagoFlipsRed.com. Support their efforts. If you don't want to spend money, follow them on X at Flip Chicago Red and just stay connected with them. Share their stuff. That's a contribution as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to speak with Harris Faulkner at about 1:30. I'm so excited to have her back on the show. I'm going to ask her, in wake of the Bobby Kennedy hearing today, what's a mom, what's a dad to do when it comes to figuring out what's the right type of health care for your kid? We're talking about vaccines. We all have questions, and it's like we're not even allowed to have the discussion. Not to mention the fact we experienced that horrific shooting in Minneapolis last week. Remember how they all attacked prayers? Harris Faulkner's always got a great commentary on the power of prayer. I'm going to ask her about that as well. Stick around. We'll be right back. Infinite-Vitality.com, 618-486-1888. Oh, gosh, you could get your life back with Infinite Vitality. They're in Glen Carbon, Illinois. Let me get that out of the way. You can make a phone call. You can talk to them over the phone. You're going to go in. You're going to learn about you. You're going to get information about you. You're going to get a blood draw. And all of those symptoms that you're experiencing right now with fatigue and kind of being down in the dumps and not really feeling like you can get out of it. You know, that kind of funk that you have that once you get to be middle-aged and everything seems to slow down, you're like, I guess this is just how it is. It's not. It doesn't have to be. Infinite Vitality can get you your vitality back. 618-486-1888. They can also help you lose weight. If you've been looking for a place to get semaglutide or tirzepatide and to get on the weight loss plan right away, you can go to Infinite Vitality. You'll be so glad you did. They do a body scan. It gives you incredible details, as to your progress. I've been so happy about my progress at Infinite Vitality. I want you to share in it. So mention my name when you call Infinite Vitality at 618-486-1888, and you're going to save $50 on most services. Infinite-vitality.com.
If your kitchen's not even functional and you can't stand the look of your bathroom, stop just living around the problem. Let Lakeside Renovation and Design help you love your home again. From spa-like bathrooms to these beautiful, functional, custom kitchens to a finished basement, their in-house team over there at Lakeside, they're going to help bring any vision you have to life. They're going to walk you through every step of the process, the planning, the permits, all the things we don't like to do. They take care of it. You just have to dream. And they have financing options like 0 payments, 0% interest for 24 months. Schedule your free consultation today. It's lakesiderd.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
We just had Danielle Carter, the VP of Chicago Flips Red, on the show. And coming up next, the one and only Harris Faulkner. So stick around and get the podcast for sure. This is a great hour of radio on the Annie Fry Show. It is 1:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Well, we sat and we watched and listened to RFK Jr.'s Senate hearing, and boy, was that just a wonderful display of our political system. Don't know much more about what I'm supposed to do with my children when they're like, here's the vaccine schedule you're supposed to give them. I remember having all 4 of my children, and each time they're like, we're going to come in at 2 a.m. and wake up the baby and give him the shots. And you just go, okay, I guess that's what you do. You don't know any better. It seems as though RFK Jr. really does have a reasonable approach that a lot of Americans do support about should we double check some of these things. But I know so many of you parents are left hanging in the balance, asking yourself, how am I supposed to do what's right for my kids? Who can I trust? Let's get to our guest. Harris Faulkner joins us once again. Of course, the anchor and host of the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered on Fox News, as well as a best-selling author. Harris Faulkner, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you, Annie. It is so good to talk with you today. Look, it was a big day on Capitol Hill, and I was a little surprised, even, given the political closeness that we have of the season really already starting for midterm elections. I mean, it's on. If you didn't know it, you knew it today. I mean, that was not the hearing that it was prescribed to be. That was and it was titled President Trump's 2025 and Beyond Healthcare Plans for America. Like, it was very prescriptive and very descriptive. Like, you got the title, you got it. What we got today, though, was an impeachment.
Yeah.
What we got today were a lot of anti-Trump and anti-HHS Secretary RFK Jr. speeches. We heard entire 5+ minute segments of senators on the left saying things like, look, I just have 3 points I want to make here, and not giving him a chance to even answer. We didn't get a hearing that could help parents, which is why it's no clearer to you right now.
Yeah. It's obvious that President Trump, when there was a major shift in his campaign when they decided to lock arms, RFK Jr. and Donald Trump, all of a sudden it was kind of like a new frontier, like, oh, people who disagree can find something they agree on and forge ahead for a solution for the American people. And I feel like since the election, you just kind of have these, political encampments that, at least on the face and the surface and the discussions that take place in public, or it's just trying to make political points. But this is a really big issue, the health of the American people, our children, our vaccines. I have no idea who to look to trust.
Well, I do think that we got a couple of things out of this today. For one thing, RFK Jr. does not have small children in his household, and everybody seems to think that that's the requisite. We have a lot of people in this country who may not have, but he's raised a family, obviously, who may not have that immediate connection with the people who need it. So we get that. Many of our educators, and we learned this during the pandemic from watching teachers in the classroom who couldn't even sit for an entire session with our children without roaming around, and our kids were just left on the line to do for themselves if we weren't in the room. Like, we've learned a lot. That's not what RFK Jr. is about. What he's doing is asking the questions on behalf of people, all people, parents, everybody. Do you know enough about the things you're injecting? But where I think it got a little dicey for him today was when the reading back of some of the things that he has said over time came into play. And Democrats came prepared with these quotes. Now, some of it wasn't true, and he would have to call them out over and over. I was live posting about this on X. I mean, it was ridiculous. He was saying, you're making things up, you're lying. And it was clear they were freeballing it. They were saying, oh, my goodness, somebody here, take this basketball. You try to make the hoop. I'm going to go play baseball over here. Like, they were not playing fairly. So, but what they were doing is using his own words against him. And his curiosity hasn't always been projected clearly. And I think he had to kind of clean that up today. And it was very, very clear, at least to me. And I was trying to communicate this to viewers too. He wants us to be aware of things that are going on, but it's up to you, with all the mandates gone, to make the decision for your child. The problem, Annie, that you are pointing to, though, is we live in a real world where people still set mandates for our kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know how close he is to that issue. So this, we missed an opportunity as the American public today because the liberals were so hot on taking him down that they weren't asking the legitimate question. Well, Mr. Secretary, if your child's school says that they need this vaccine and you want to ask questions and do more science and testing on it, what is a parent to do? Because isn't that the bottom line?
Right. Yes, completely.
Yeah, they couldn't do their jobs because they were too busy hating Trump and hating RFK Jr. So the American public lost out today. Now, Republicans had some tough questions, but they were also kind of grandstanding in some cases too. I mean, let's call it what it is. No one was really hitting the points today. Kennedy was put on the defensive, and there were a few times that you got some good nugget information, but you could tell everybody in that room was running for midterms. And it was, but I'm glad we got to see it, because I think that we need to know where we are, and also need to know why President Trump sent a group. I don't know if you guys covered this much yesterday because it didn't get a lot of play, but he sent a team, his team, to the Hill yesterday to talk about his strategy for winning the midterm elections. He feels he needs to do that. Why do you think that is? I would say from what I saw today, because he knows the onslaught is going to be huge from the left, and he needs to unify and fortify Republicans. I get it. I could see it today.
Yeah. It was mentioned on Outnumbered when you guys were able to rejoin. It just that there was a lot of noise, but there wasn't any listening taking place. I have to remember,
yes.
systematically speaking, I get so frustrated at the grandstanding of the senators or the House members when these hearings take place. But it is very important for the American people to understand that we need especially our appointed officials, to answer to the American people, and those elected representatives are the way that they answer to the American people. And if we don't like the way they're behaving, then we have the opportunity to change those people.
Oh, beautifully said. Beautifully said. And you know what? Your opportunity is coming up faster than they like.
Yeah, certainly
They
is.
know that.
I wanted to shift and ask you about something that happened last week, the school shooting, such a horrible, terrible occurrence that we've seen, similar before, and it seems like we know that it'll happen again in our future. It's just the unfortunate world we live in right now. But the aftermath of that, so very quickly, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, came out and really attacked people who were praying, suggested that somehow or another, because those children were sitting in that church praying, that diminished the offering of prayers in the wake of a tragedy. And, you've literally written a book about how faith still moves mountains. I've read it. You talk about how people are in the most dire situations, and prayer somehow or another finds its way into that moment and makes a difference. I'm wondering what you think of, I know you believe in prayer, but I'm wondering what you think of the political strategy that seems to be agreed upon on some of these far left vocal individuals to attack prayer. Why attack prayer?
Well, first of all, I want to say this because, I covered, as we all did, after the killing of George Floyd, the very mayor you're talking about, Jacob Frey. He is politically and emotionally immature. That's the one thing I can say about that man. And when he stood up there and said, whatever with the thoughts and prayers and all of that, what we need is blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't know where he is. I was a primetime anchor in that market for years. He doesn't realize how strong that community is in Christianity, the Lutherans and the Lutheran churches and their presence and all that they have done there, that the Catholics in those communities and all that they have done there, Christian denominations all over that state. Like, does he not understand where he lives? Does he not read the room? So when he says something like that, I just look at somebody and I say, you know what? You didn't put on your adult pants today. Because he's not thinking. But then when days go by and he doesn't correct himself, because this is how I look at it, right? We can all have a moment where we fall down. But when you get back up and you still haven't fixed what you said, that tells me that might just be who you are. And having seen his politics already on display for years now, it is ironic, maybe not, that he is losing to somebody who's even farther left than he is. You don't think that Omar Fattah can beat this guy? Because I think he can. And then you've got another Mondami situation in the Midwest, which is that guy's nickname, Fattah's nickname, the Midwest Mondami. This is why. Because on the left, they've decided to cede anything like common sense, like read the room. You're in a very Christian state and community, yet you don't speak up when you know you should and say things after a church shooting of children that make sense to the mind and the heart of that community. You are anesthetized by the power that you think you can keep. That's why they're going to lose it. And they're going to cede it to a bunch of people who are going to tell them that we don't need you on the left. And they won't play ball anywhere else except for with themselves. They are going to be socialist and communist. Watch it. That's why those politics are playing the way they are. So I put a lot on his shoulders. I know he can't take it.
Harris Faulkner speaking with us right now, host and anchor of the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered on Fox News. Also, the #1 New York Times bestseller, Faith Still Moves Mountains. You authored that. And I can't help but watch a Mayor Frey come out there and say what he says with just such disdain for the people out there who might fall to their knees because they've got nowhere else to go in such an unspeakable tragedy. I can't help but think that those type of words coming out of him and all the other people who politically parrot them afterwards cause a lot more people to pray.
Oh, I love that. I love your faith. I love that you understand that the Lord never said or promised that it would be perfect. In fact, when we pray, we are praying with petition that the Lord bless us with his mercy and his supernatural favor, and that he changed things in the way that we would see healing. We also understand that sometimes it is his plan for our lives and for others to give us peace when we pray. Do you ever get that feeling like, oh, Lord, I don't know if I can change this. I don't know that it is your will to change this. But because I am in your presence right now, I do feel your peace, Lord. I feel you shed that on me. And it's because of that peace, that understanding, that we're not in the place where Jacob Fry is. Jacob Fry is saying that, even though you were praying, look at what happened to you. No, that was never God's promise. No, we understand that loving those people around us. Now, he did get this right. He said, love those families. But what he doesn't understand is you can love them without ceasing through your prayer, through being there, they can feel your presence no matter where you are. So that's Minneapolis, that's Minnesota. I'm in New Jersey. I'm going to pray for them. That is what he meant, I think, by love, but he doesn't understand what divine love is. I think he misses the mark. And I give him that benefit of the doubt because he's immature. He's just not a bright guy. And not as far as I can see. Yeah. We know the power. We understand it. And, for those families, they have an understanding that they are teaching the children right now who survived that Jacob Fry could never even get his mind around. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said those things. So we pray for those around us who maybe might be an adversary, but he's in a position of political and professional and public influence. And I pray that he stop talking and stop moving in a way that hurts people until he has more understanding.
Yeah, it is the appropriate response to pray for Jacob Fry. That is a great irony and a truth as well. That peace that passes all understanding, the thing that when you can get peace and it makes no sense to have peace. That can only come from one place. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I love this conversation with you. And I know I went political first. We bring it back. We start with faith. We end with faith. It can be wrapped politics. And I think that's what he's trying to do. That's what Democrats have tried to do for a long time, say that they understand Christians. But what did Obama say? Clinging to your Bibles and your guns, but they don't understand it in total. They don't understand the power of it. They think the power rests in their politics. Yeah. And that's enormously sad for them. It's untrue, and I don't know who lied to them, but someone did.
Yeah. I mean, it's a religion in and of itself, which is a tragedy, certainly.
Well, wow. Preach it. My friend Annie Fry can preach.
Harris, we'd love to have you back soon. Always great to see you on television and a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you. Always great to be with you. Take care.
Bye-bye. Harris Faulkner, author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Faith Still Moves Mountains. Also the host and anchor of the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered on Fox News. Two shows that I rarely miss. Let's take a quick break. Brian, come back in here. We'll recap the YouTube live chat poll. Can Chicago flip red? Yes? No? But maybe that 25% is possible. Or not a chance. Annie, what are you smoking today? I don't know. It's Illinois. We can smoke whatever we want. I think. I haven't tried it. We'll be right back. The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. You need people you can trust to help you usher yourself over that bridge from work, save, sacrifice to retirement. Angel choir, yay. Retirement, it's not anywhere near close for me, but it might be for you. 59.5 is a magic and beautiful number. Once you turn 59.5, you have some doors that open to you that you need to consider. And when you call the Retirement Advisory Group and set up a free conversation with them, you're going to learn about these tips and tricks that they have to get you into that worry-free retirement. You want a plan. You want an expectation that is rooted in reality, and you've worked really, really hard for it. So Put yourself in the hands of the experts who know how to execute that plan for you. That free conversation that doesn't have any obligation after you're done, you make that phone call at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Call the Retirement Advisor Group. Schedule an appointment. Tell them Annie said hi. Learn more at retirementkey.com.
Mark Cox here. Join us live Thursday, September 11th at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka as we support Focus Marines Foundation. They're helping post 9/11 veterans transition to civilian life. Learn more at 971talk.com/events. Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Built in the heartland for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Softly creeping, left its scenes while I was sleeping, and the vision.
Is this better than the original?
No.
Yes.
No, but I know a lot of people think it is. Yeah. He should just do covers.
Ethan picks the music, and he said, and I quote, "Felt like livening the mood today."
Thank you.
I was seriously looking at my cut sheet here to be like, is there anything funny I could pair with this? And the answer was no.
You don't want to play more RFK clips?
No.
That was funny at times. I'll say that.
What was? RFK?
Oh, that hearing.
Yeah, it was great.
He just schools them so bad.
It's because he doesn't give any fudge brownies about it.
And he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
You can just tell.
And he's a Democrat.
Yeah, they hate that.
That's why it's so funny to me. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do another head pat.
Do it. There you go.
It's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Anywho. I don't know. I'm just coming off that conversation with Harris Faulkner feeling like I should be done for the day.
You should feel like $1 million. In fact, I would say most people who talk to Harris Faulkner
Feel like
probably walk away feeling pretty good.
Speaking of, did you play the Powerball last night?
No, did you?
Yes.
Did you win?
I did not. That's why I'm here. I won nothing. Did you play, Brad?
I did not, but now I'm thinking about playing for this Saturday.
Heck yeah. It was up to $1.5 billion last night.
I'm holding out for 1.7.
I said to the kids afterwards, I go, oh, it's a really good thing we didn't win because it's going to be worth more on Saturday. And they were like, okay.
What a kid thing.
Powerball jackpot.
Powerball jackpot.
It's up to 1.7.
Oh, now I got to play.
Billion.
Now I got to play.
Yeah, you do. There is so much joy. That $20 that you spend on those tickets, there's so much joy in the time that you get to buy that ticket. Think, I'm holding $1.7 billion in my hand.
The tickets cost $20?
No, are you going to buy one set of numbers?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
$2 then.
$2? Okay,
Yeah.
I can do 2. I'm not spending $20 on this thing.
Oh, I did. Wasted it.
It's a big investment.
Yeah, when you win that $1.7 billion, you owe me 20, probably 40 at that point.
Oh, fine.
You're
I'll give you that.
Annie said she just wants $40.
Yeah.
He's like, sign here, please.
Oh, here. Yeah, I'll give you everybody $10.
Real question. If you won $1.7 billion, would you feel not an obligation? Because I think if it's an obligation, you don't do it. But would you feel like you would give people in this room money?
I don't
Ethan's
know.
not in here, so.
No. I'll tell you why no. Because whatever I gave you would seem like a pittance compared to what I had just won.
Especially if you gave us nothing.
No. It would almost be worse to be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give each of you $200. And you guys would be like, dang, $200 is nice, but I know how much you just won, and that's stupid. And there's no amount that would not apply to.
I'm a little offended at your judgment of my character.
I'm offended that you said that.
I don't care.
I don't either.
Yes, you do.
I'm winning this, clearly.
In your mind, you win everything you enter in.
Why? What would you do?
Oh, I'd give you guys at least 6 figures.
You'd give us 6 figures of that?
Heck yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'd want you to be set for life.
This is
6 figures wouldn't set you for life, but 6 figures would make it so that you wouldn't have to have any worries.
Would you want to keep doing the show with us? Because then
Yeah, I
we'd
think
be
so.
like, well, we don't need any money now.
Yeah.
Because I would think you would want to incentivize us to keep going. Be like, hey, I'll
If
give
I
you
won
6 figures.
$1.7 billion, which I mean, you usually get like half. Maybe it's like 45% if you take the lump sum. But we're talking like you walk away with this thing with probably $750 million. I could easily see giving the people who are here on my show at minimum 6 figures. And then I would, you know, I'm looking at building a house, and like all of my spare time is like looking at every penny where I can move it, because I do not want to be house poor. I don't want to be house poor. So I'm trying to just the thought of winning that kind of money and the house that I could build and the things that I'm worrying about, that, okay, we'll put this space in, but we won't finish it until who knows when. And just thinking like not having to worry about any of that stuff, it's a fun exercise, but then I come back to reality real quick. But I would build an amazing studio, and I would want to do the show from there. Hopefully Odyssey doesn't have a problem with it. And I would want you guys I'd probably want you guys to do things for the show that are like for the brand in a way that would let you go into what you like more and give you the resources to do it. But I would want you to work because you want to, not because you have to.
Well, I want you to
Thanks
buy
for
more
saying you wouldn't.
Powerball tickets.
Well, I'm gonna buy $20 worth of it for Saturday.
You should just buy $200 worth.
I don't have $200.
Live for once.
I am spending $20, which would now be $40 on this, and that is an extension of my living for twice that I'm thinking is silly, but it is worth the entertainment that exists in the meantime.
I'm thinking about you here.
No, you're not.
I think that you would get a much bigger thrill out of spending more on the Powerball.
No. Remember
And
when
then
you went
the
to the? You
chances
remember
go
when
up.
you were playing the slot machines or the gambling machines or whatever, and you're like, I have to stop.
Yes, I do.
I don't like stomaching the thought of losing $20 on that Powerball ticket that I already lost. But it's $1.7 billion. I'm okay with that. But I don't play it. I mean, I probably bought a lottery ticket one other time in the last year. So it's not like something I do a lot, so I don't mind.
Where do you even find the winning numbers? Do they still announce them on the news and stuff?
Where do you find anything, buddy? On the internet.
Oh, I just asked my friends. Hey, friends.
They're like, I don't know. Let me see your ticket. Nope,
Yeah.
these aren't winning
No,
numbers.
no, but I can throw
You
that away
missed
for you.
out. He doesn't know where to check them. You just go on the internet. The lottery Powerball website crashed last night when the drawing happened.
Really?
Yeah. I tried to buy tickets online, had everything there, and it kept giving me an error screen that said, "You're moving too fast." And I'm like, I have to get this done before 9 p.m. So my husband left the house at 8:53 to get to the corner gas station to buy $20 worth of lottery tickets before 9 p.m. And he did. That's how fast we threw away $20.
So my question was not stupid. Where do you find it? The website's down. Where are you going to go?
The numbers when they're drawn were still available. You can just find them on X. You just search lottery numbers.
Like all your solutions.
You just buy a ticket and give it to me. We'll be right back.
I always get asked, when's the best time of the year to purchase an air conditioning and heating system for your home? My response is always the same. If you call me and have a free consultation on your needs and based on your budget, it's always a good time. There's never a bad time. You don't fear my pricing. I try to buy as much as I can at the start of the season, and anything we have left over, it's still a discounted price to you. So if you're looking or you're waiting before winter, because we all put it off, man. We all put it off. None of us like to spend money. But if you know you're going to be doing something before winter, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. I love telling you about good people running locally owned and operated businesses here in St. Louis. And Home Shield Foundation Repair, they check all the boxes. Matt Hayes and his great family, when I went to breakfast with them a couple months ago, we sat down and we had so much in common. They've got, I think, 4 kids, and they're in sports, and they're in their things, and they're constantly coming and going. And this Home Shield Foundation Repair is the culmination of Matt Hayes being really good at something, being very capable, understanding what the market is like, and saying, I can do this better than the competition that is out there. I can provide a service that's going to solve a problem for people, and I can do it in a fair and good way. Home Shield Foundation Repair enters the chat. 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Call Matt. Tell him Annie said hi. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Before I met my lawyer, I felt hopeless. I felt soon to be homeless. And after I met my lawyer, I got that hope back. I was like, yes, we can do this, gave me the energy to go. I just want people to know that there's always help out there. Go out there and look for it and go get it.
Visit MissouriLawyersHelp.org to learn more. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Brought to you by the Missouri Bar.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A shakeup under scrutiny. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. spending several hours on Capitol Hill at a Senate hearing where he defended efforts to make America healthy again, including policy changes and firings. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren among the Democrats calling for him to resign, accusing Kennedy of putting Americans' health at risk.
The biggest flashpoint was Kennedy's controversial guidelines on who can receive a COVID vaccine this fall.
Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Mark Warner, the Democratic senator from Virginia, he asked Kennedy at one point how many people died during the pandemic. And Kennedy replied that he did not know. Warner was absolutely incredulous at that answer, saying you should know as Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Fox's Chad Pergram. Kennedy says he doesn't think anybody knows. A different Senate panel hearing from the president's nominee for a Fed seat.
Stephen Myron, head of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, told the Senate Banking Committee if confirmed to the Federal Reserve, he'll preserve its independence and serve the American people to the best of his ability.
In my view, the most important job of the central bank is to prevent depressions and hyperinflations. Independence of monetary policy is a critical element for its success.
Myron shares President Trump's view that the Fed should cut interest rates, but clarified,
if confirmed, I plan to dutifully carry out my role pursuant to the mandates assigned by Congress. My opinions and decisions will be based on my analysis of the macroeconomy and what's best for its long-term stewardship.
The seat was vacated when Fed Governor Adriana Kugler stepped down last month.
Fox's Jenny Cosola. Washington, D.C. is now suing to end what it calls an illegal military occupation as a federal crime crackdown continues. America is listening to Fox News.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
No complaints about this weather. Partly to mostly sunny skies. The northwest flow has opened up again. 75 for the high. Great this evening. Clear skies. 62. Friday, partly sunny. Maybe a spot thunderstorm. Late Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Do not expect much. 78. Mid to upper 70s and sunny over the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Fox News is reporting that the RFK Jr. testimony was given amid calls of him to resign. Who's calling? I mean, isn't there just a group of noise in this country that just exists no matter what you do?
Oh, yeah. The fact that people are, quote unquote, calling for him to resign is an 8-month-old story.
Yeah.
That's nothing new.
Do we do anything about that? I mean, I don't know. I feel like even acknowledging it is a waste of time.
You know what they are probably referring to when they put that chyron up is that there were a bunch of former employees, or I think it may include some current employees.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who signed a letter saying he's he's unfit. He's a terrible person. He shouldn't be leading this thing. So that's probably what it is. Which, again, that's not really new. I mean, the signing the letter, that's the new part, but it's the same chorus of people.
Harris Faulkner was talking about how, you get the opportunity to get to some of the bottom of these things. Vaccines, for instance, is a main source of conversation anytime RFK Jr. is involved in it, but certainly at a hearing. And my understanding, which is probably wrong, but my understanding of what RFK Jr. is saying about vaccines is that we have a plug-and-play vaccine schedule that we just do, where we give specific vaccines because we do and have done that for so very long, and that we haven't questioned or retested the longevity of what these vaccines do, and that it's worthy of a look-see.
That's it.
Is that it?
Well, that's it. And he's also saying, though, that concerning vaccines in particular, there's a lot of really shoddy studies that would get approved to get a vaccine approved. And he's saying, look, this is where the regulatory industry has failed, is they will just sort of rubber stamp these things because they did, quote, a study. And if you look into the study, it's a freaking terrible study. So he calls that stuff out too, and more power to him. I mean, that's just concerning the vaccines, but that itself needs to change.
Do you worry about the vaccines that you've given your kids?
I would, except that my wife was diligent about that, and I wouldn't have been. That's the thing.
There are vaccines that I have in my child's life said we are not doing that.
So
to various levels of pushback, and every time we go back in, the office is like, we're going to do that vaccine, and I'm like, no, we're not.
We did the same exact thing, Annie, but it wasn't because of me. I didn't really know that much about this whole world when my kids were born in 2014. This was all new to me. And she is a researcher.
Yeah,
and
like
she
her.
went
That's why she's my best
after
friend.
it, and she was like, this is what Annie would want me to do. And I'm
talked.
like, who's Annie? I wasn't even in this station yet. We didn't know each other, but she knew ahead. That's how much research she did. She knew that you guys would be good friends. But she really, really, really studied and said, I think what we'll do, and she kind of came up with her own vaccine schedule based on some recommendations, but also based on not just the CDC, which is great that she did, because she staggered them out. So a lot of the ones that we did, yes, we did them, but we did them a lot later than the recommendation was. And I'm so glad that she did that.
Do you remember Jenny McCarthy?
I was going there.
All I know about Jenny McCarthy is that she was super hot and she didn't like vaccines.
And I think for a brief period, she was married to Jim Carrey.
Yeah, during the anti-vaccine time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also did a lot of pregnancy books.
We weren't
because
allowed.
We had a bunch of.
You're not supposed to question these things. Again, this goes back to when I've talked about the conspiracies that exist surrounding January 6th. The fact that we're not allowed to ask questions about it, and if you tried to dig a little bit in the non, yes, ma'am, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, whatever you say goes for me. If you questioned any of that, they came out with you with a fierce force of opposition and kind of threat. Mm-hmm. And the more you're like, you can't ask those questions. I'm like, I would like to ask more of questions like that. And I mean, my kids are vaccinated on a lot of things, but there are certain things they're not. And it's been more when my kids were older. My kids have never had a COVID vaccination. And that was not a popular decision at first. But my comment the first time we had to go to a checkup where I knew that vaccine would be in play, I think the doctor said something to the effect of, and you'll be getting the COVID vaccine. I said, we will not be getting that, and it's not up for debate. It's a non-negotiable. The children won't be getting the COVID vaccine. And the doctor kind of paused, and then she went on with her business. They asked one more time when we came there, and I think my husband told her, I'm like, just don't be emotional about it. Just be very direct and say, we're not doing that. We can move on. And after that, they didn't push it. But I wonder how many people in there were like, but it's just the same way I've been about all the other vaccines that I've ever given my kids. I've just been like, okay, yes, ma'am. I don't not trust my doctor. And maybe they didn't know what they didn't know, but we don't know. So the asking of questions doesn't seem like it should be as threatening as it appears to be.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, too. Why is asking questions so threatening about this? And is it because I remember the Jenny McCarthy thing in particular. My wife had a couple of books that, when you have your first baby especially, you get lots and lots of shower gifts and random stuff. And so we had these Jenny McCarthy books. I don't even know if my wife wanted them or read them. She might have, but I just remember they were there. And thinking, what exactly is Jenny McCarthy teaching? But I also don't want to read this book because I have zero interest in this topic. But I knew that there was a cultural thing going on with Jenny McCarthy and vaccines. And I posted something about it once on Facebook, jokingly saying, hey, I'm not going to be reading this book or something like that, because I had no idea about it. And people's reactions to it were stark. I mean, they wanted to comment.
There was anger, rage
on Jenny McCarthy on both sides, but more so on the hateful, dismissive. Like, it was, how could this idiot drive any sort of national debate about this? And I remember thinking, at the time especially, this wasn't a red-blue issue. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of an issue. And I remember thinking, well, I understand what you're saying. I mean, Jenny McCarthy, she's a playmate and she's like comedian. So she's clearly not a...
Was she a Playboy girl?
Yeah.
But wait a second. Let's revisit the... Oh, yeah.
Let's not.
Can you make that a short, please? You were saying?
She didn't have the credentials to be teaching the nation about vaccines. However, she had a platform, and she was asking questions, and it was all based on her personal experience with her kid. And I thought, well, why would we just dismiss that? I know that she's not a scientist. I know she's not a doctor. But why is it so crazy that she could have noticed something that she's become so passionate about that we shouldn't be talking about it a little bit, or at least address the topic outside of her?
Can I venture a theory here?
No.
Whenever you're talking about people and their kids, it's the most precious thing to them. And the thought of, I did this to my child because I just went along with what the doctor said and gave him these vaccines and whatnot, and that could possibly have been harmful to my child, would be a terrifying thought. And so sometimes people's knee-jerk reaction is, I couldn't have done that because I love my children too much. Let me push back really hard on it.
While I think that is a very good theory, I asked you to keep it to yourself, and you shared it anyway. And I do not appreciate that.
Really wrapped up in the Playmate thing.
No, I've moved on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He went back.
Yeah.
I can't say. I know that she. I mean, so was Pamela Anderson. So were a lot of these girls.
How much do you know about this stuff?
I know just a little bit. I didn't have a subscription.
It was April of 1992.
Mm-hmm. Now, I had a subscription
The
to
mailman
National
had
Geographic.
just driven past the mailbox. It was a beautiful spring afternoon. Take it from here.
He put the magazine into the mailbox, and I eagerly ran out to meet it, opening its crisp new pages. And very excited to see what the wing-horned swallow was about this year, because it was National Geographic, not Playboy.
Hey, that was like the magazine for...
Maybe in referencing something I saw in a different magazine other than Playboy, I shouldn't have referred to the swallow. Again, my mistake. Take it from here, Annie.
I have nothing. I'm out, man. You've taken this to places that I can't resurrect. It's over. Better win the lottery.
Jenny McCarthy, co-host of the show Singled Out.
Oh,
Remember
really?
that?
Yeah. Gosh, have you seen have you ever recently looked at some of the clips from like Road Rules and Real World?
I can honestly tell you I have not.
Something found me in an algorithm somewhere, and I watched it, and it was so appalling.
How so? Like phony?
No, just so crude in a way that people, it was just like, it was a young man and a young woman sitting there talking about the physical size, like height of another member in the house.
Of a member.
Of the house. In the real world house.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like they were doing it. They were having that conversation right in front of this guy. And it was terrible. And I just remember being like, why was our whole generation watching this? This doesn't seem good.
Are you saying reality TV on MTV didn't have scruples?
Was there anything real about any of that TV?
Oh gosh, no.
Nothing?
No. There was nothing real
They wouldn't
about
like
that.
throw in like here's the context of the scene and take it from here. It wasn't scripted.
No, they would set up situations for sure.
But then they kind of like they'd fabricate a situation, throw them in the middle of it.
It was like two different approaches. Curb Your Enthusiasm, they'd have a loose script and then they just kind of go. The opposite of that would be reality TV, where they didn't have a script, but they had situations that they'd set up. That's why Survivor and some of those shows, they're actually a little more honest because it's obvious that you're going into a game now or whatever. Well,
Biggest Loser.
They were
was
doing
like
the
that,
same
yeah.
thing on all those shows. They would set up a situation where, okay, these two people are going to be in the room, and then we're going to make sure that so-and-so walks in. They don't know what anybody's going to say. They don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they set up the situations. And everybody's a willing part of it because they all became famous, sort of. The most famous they were going to become.
Theo Vaughn.
What about him?
Road Rules.
Was he on there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
How long ago?
How long ago was Road Rules?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was part of it.
Was that before he was Theo Vaughn, or was he already a celebrity?
I think that's where he got his big break.
That's what they were all looking for. That's what every single one of those people was looking for.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. We'll get Ethan in here next. Sports and local update with Ethan and whatever Ryan's got to call that segment. Is it a new one today or not yet?
This is the best of.
Best of the whole week?
Yep.
All right. Ethan, come in here. Sports and local next on the Annie Fry Show.
This mountain I must climb feels like a world upon my shoulders.
Anyway, easy. Go on.
That's Foreigner, baby.
Okay.
I didn't mean to call you that. I'm sorry.
It never occurred to me that you called me baby. Why
Just
do we
in the
have
moment.
Stuart's logo up right now? This is not Stewie's responsibility. Baby, I didn't mean to call you that. He's not okay. Stewie, I gotta talk about you. Are you gonna be okay?
No.
Do you need a minute?
This
Baby?
this isn't even content.
All right, honey,
We're
get
in
out
the
of
middle
room.
of a live.
Yes, we are. No, we haven't started it yet. Start the clock. Stewart's American Mortgage and a bagel loan. Oh, man. When you are getting a new house, like we're working on trying to build one myself, of course, I actually sat down with Stewie and was walking through everything because this guy knows his stuff. He just understands the industry, the ins and the outs, and he can position you for the best financial outcome for you in a realistic way. One of the things that I really appreciate having worked with Stewie myself is how he's like, what are you trying to do? And then his answer is how to get you there. And maybe sometimes it's like, I don't know that we can get there, but this is how we can make something work for you. He's a great guy. And when you call or text 314-324-4440, that's 314-324-4440, Stewie is on the other end of that line. That's his cell phone. So if you give him a text and you say, Annie was talking about a bagel loan. She said there are $0 in closing costs. Can you really get me a new mortgage without me having to pay anything in closing costs? Can you really refinance my mortgage, my high interest rate that I have that's in the high sevens or whatever from a year or two ago? Can you really refinance it down a little bit lower now without having to cost me anything? And the answer is yes. And you just got to give them a call to get that process started. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, baby. And MLS number 226-715.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Murphin's Burgle Nuts.
You got Murphin's Burgle Nuts today, my friend. We're going through the best of, and that's one of the best.
That's debatable.
Oh, I think so. Is there any other ones that you were like, oh, we got to hit that before we run out of best ofs? Because we only got one more day this week.
Yeah, I'll have to think on that because there's definitely some ones in there that here's the thing. I never know what to expect going into this segment. I have zero idea most days as to what you're going to come up with. But still, you never cease to amaze me with some of the descriptions that you come up with because quite literally half the time they are not words.
You don't have the easiest name to parody.
Doopy Dumples Dumpledoos.
What the heck's a burgle nut?
I'm writing that one down now, too.
Is that one word or two?
Doopy Dumples Dumpledoo.
Yeah, we're doing the show.
I don't know.
Annie wasn't even in the room this whole time, by the way, if you're listening. She's back, though.
Hey.
I got some snacks.
Listen.
Oh, good. Did you get some
Cheez-Its?
No,
Sun Chips.
Sun Chips. In fairness, I got stopped by a wonderful sales woman, and out of respect, stayed to talk to her. Glad I did. She was nicer to me than you people are, baby.
That's classy.
That was classy.
Yeah.
So
I appreciated that.
I
looked in here. I didn't hear the music. And I looked in here. You guys were all talking. I'm like, they look like they're having a really good time.
Red lights on,
Ah,
baby.
crap.
Get in here.
All right.
It's your show.
I'm here.
So I will say this though, if you've noticed, the last probably week or two, one of our amazing listeners on the stream, Joe, has been sending in some of his own at the very beginning of the show, asking when my segment is, except every single day he comes up with a different name, and most of them are better than yours.
I'm writing them down. Look,
there's
going to be a whole week might be mostly his suggestions. But again,
it needs to be Joe week on the Annie Fry Show for Ethan. I'm all for that.
I'll put the pitch out here that if you have a great name or even a terrible name that you want to use for Ethan's segment, put it in the comments. I write them down, and then we kind of sift through and choose the best. So, you do have to kind of make the cut. But
I'm going to also tell you that if it means Ryan has to do less work, he's not very discerning. He'll just take it.
Well, yes, that's true. But then I have to write it down, and that's a lot of work. So,
you poor baby.
I know.
Who's your poor baby?
Cardinals were 5-1 winners yesterday, taking the series against the Oakland Athletics. Nolan Gorman homered. Wilson Contreras had 4 runs driven in as well, including a triple. So good for the Cardinals to take the series against the Athletics. 70-71 now on the season. I will say this, though. Coolest part about yesterday's game was that Chip Cary's son, Stephen, was able to make his Major League Baseball broadcasting debut. He was able to broadcast, I believe it was the 3rd and the 4th innings.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Chip and Stephen on the FanDuel broadcast together, and then Stephen's identical twin brother, Chris, is a broadcaster for the Athletics. So he was just a room down, 2 rooms down, calling the game for the A's. So you had all 3 Carey brothers broadcasting last night at the ballpark. I thought that was pretty cool. Stephen is a friend, so congratulations to Stephen on a very exciting moment in his career.
Fun fact, there's actually only one of those brothers, and they run back and forth, and they put mustaches on.
Well,
Classic.
I wouldn't call that a fun fact.
Neither of them wear have mustaches, so that doesn't really.
Not when you see him.
But good try. Oh.
Right, yeah.
I thought Stephen did an excellent job, too. I was really impressed with that. Like, he stepped in there, and his very first call that I heard him make was on point. It was great.
It's awesome. Yeah, good dude. Good dude. Switching to not nearly as light of news, but the St. Louis Boeing strike has continued into now. This is, I believe, the 5th week. The company's first defense sector strike since 1996. Workers say they want to keep building America's defense aircraft, but only with a contract that values their experience. Boeing's latest offer, this was last week, I believe, included a 20% pay increase over 4 years and a $5,000 hiring bonus, for new hires. Veteran workers say the plan caps their pay and doesn't reflect the added responsibility they carry, including mentoring new employees and keeping production running smoothly.
Would you take a 20% pay increase?
Right now? Yeah.
Do you deserve a 20% pay increase, Ryan?
Ethan?
Wait, do I or do you? That really confused me.
Wait until it starts calling you baby.
Oh, yeah, baby. Hey, look, you arrived.
Who's he calling baby? I believe I do, Annie. Ryan, I don't know.
Ryan, does Ryan deserve a 20% pay increase?
Or more.
Brad, does Ryan deserve a 20% pay increase?
Would you say that's the floor?
20? No.
I think he deserves a 20% pay decrease.
Ryan, does Brad deserve a 20% pay increase?
I was going to say yes, but not now.
That's kind of what I thought.
I was doling out money to everybody.
I think we all do.
I told you earlier I was going to give you guys at least 6 figures.
I know, and he won't even give me a 20% increase based on somebody else's salary.
No.
He's not even paying
I
it.
didn't say I wouldn't give it to you. The question was, do you deserve it?
Well, that's even meaner.
Yeah, it's even worse, Brad.
He'd give it to you because he feels sorry for you.
Gosh, that's terrible.
Well, Ryan, you'd take sympathy money, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'll take any kind of money.
As long as it spends.
Yep.
One more story?
And just to wrap that real quick, it's getting to the point where union leaders are also warning that without the contract changes, experienced employees could be leaving for competitors. So, the longer this stretches out, the more harmful it is for Boeing and St. Louis.
Is Boeing just here? Boeing is located in other places too, right?
Yes.
And is it just here or is it all of Boeing? Do we know?
I believe that it is just here.
Isn't St. Louis supposed to make the F-47?
Mm-hmm. Supposed to. I believe they're supposed to be a big part of that, yeah.
Get your acts together, people. I don't know who needs to. I don't have a side, but get it done.
Earlier this week, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe said that he is withdrawing all 5 of his appointee picks to the newly created St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners, only 3 months after announcing them. Kehoe said it's only for the time being, and he plans to renominate those same 5 appointees after the upcoming special session on congressional redistricting. But for now, looks like he's going to be holding off on those picks.
If he leaves those picks out there, they have to be confirmed within the first 30 days of a special session being invoked. So they're working on redistricting and the IP reform issue in Missouri. And if those nominees aren't withdrawn, then the special session can't focus on redistricting and IP reform. So he's removing the nominations so they don't exist to be addressed. Special session will happen. Redistricting and IP reform will be addressed. special session will close, he'll renominate.
Correct. It
Obviously.
literally says it prevents the special session from triggering the timer. So that's exactly what
It's
it
a
is. Andy.
procedural move, Ethan. You wouldn't understand.
You're right. I wouldn't. And I don't know if you would either, Ryan.
That's so mean.
I don't understand it.
Hey, neither do I.
Yeah, all right. Hey.
Maybe would have led with that. But
I love that we started at first as like an insult, and then we both like agree, like, yeah, you know what? We don't. You're right.
all right, you guys can go bro out elsewhere.
We will.
Weird.
That's what we do.
Huh? Do you guys like each other now?
I don't know. Do we?
I don't know how we flow this
It
show if
literally
that
changes by the
relationship
minute.
changes. Oh my gosh. All right, let's take a quick break. Trish is coming in for Annie. Are you okay? Next, come vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Can Chicago flip red? You've got 3 options. Yes. Gosh, I love this song. No, but 25% is possible. Or not a chance. Go vote. We'll be right back.
You thought that I'd be weak without you, but I'm stronger. You thought that I'd be broke without you, but I'm richer. You thought that I'd be sad without you, I laugh harder. Thought I wouldn't grow without you, now I'm wiser. Thought that I'd be helpless without you, but I'm smarter. You thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chilling. You thought I wouldn't sell without you, sold 9 million. I'm a survivor.
AirComfortService.com. I'm supposed to tell you to call 314-513-0091. That's Air Comfort Service and ask them about their underwear. That's it. Call and, obviously get your HVAC system checked because you need to. It's that time of year. But if you call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation for any AC or HVAC service, you are going to be able to ask them about their undies. And they're going to donate a new pair of underwear and socks to kids in foster care through the Foster Together organization. AirComfortService.com/undies is where you can go learn more about this and also maybe how you can participate in helping as well. Air Comfort Service is there to make sure that you are cared for in your home, that your comfort zone is always accessible, and of course they're extending that opportunity to make comfortable foster kids in our area. How do you work against that? Reach out to them. Schedule that AC or HVAC service check at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Tell them Annie sent you online at aircomfortservice.com/undies.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week, I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, can Chicago flip red? There are a number of options here. And if you don't think that it can, but you think that there's a possibility that it could enough for the state to flip, for the whole state, because we're just talking about Chicago here, let us know among the options that we've given you there. It is 2:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Alton to Wildwood, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Hey ho!
Who you calling?
I just wanted to see who would say hi.
Nope. Nobody did.
I was counting on you, man.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not a hoe.
You remember that song from our youth? It was "Use a hoe." Use a hoe.
No.
No, I don't
You don't
either.
remember that?
No.
They said that use a hoe.
Yeah, you don't know that?
No.
Neither do I.
Well, it's classic art.
That, and you know what? That's not the first time Annie and I have sung that song.
I don't think it is. Yeah.
I went home and I said, Annie and I sang the Use a Hoe song on air today. And Eddie's like, on air?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure did.
Yeah.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Anyway. Hi, Trisha.
Hi, Annie and crew.
It's your turn.
She was just singing to you.
I thought when she said.
Rude. Are you calling her a nasty name?
That's what you were doing.
I wasn't. I was singing to you.
I never said a single word in that song because I don't know it.
You can call
and
me.
you locked eyes with Trisha when she walked in and
I
started
can't
singing.
even see Trisha's face. There's too many things in the way.
I thought it was weird and inappropriate.
Well, you were weird and inappropriate.
Okay, is this weird and inappropriate? Skechers' new kids' shoes let you hide an air tag in them. Skechers just dropped a surprising new way to keep track of your kids by hiding an Apple AirTag inside their shoes. The footwear giant's new Find My Skechers or Where's My Skechers line features a screw-secured compartment beneath the insole designed specifically to hold an AirTag. Priced between $52 and $58, the shoes come in a range of styles for toddlers through 8-year-olds. AirTags sold separately and are machine washable. Annie, are you okay with AirTagging your kids' shoes?
Yeah. I am.
This doesn't seem, now I haven't seen the shoe, but it seems like there's a little bit too much going on here if there's like a screw panel opener that you have to.
Well, some people are saying that that it's kind of sneaky, that your kids don't know they're in there, but I think that the panel is meant so you can throw them in the washer and not destroy your AirTag.
I mean, you can take the AirTag out before you wash your shoes, which I don't really wash my shoes a lot anyway.
I don't either.
What about your kids' shoes?
We wash them once in a while. But man, is that dryer hate it.
Like just forever.
And they try to kick open the door from the inside over and over.
Yeah, you gotta do that while you're not there.
Yeah.
When the first time we went to Disney World, I was super panicked about having something on my kids that I could locate them if I lost them. I was very worried about that. I don't even know what we ended up doing. Some people put their kids on leashes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you judge those people and you don't know that kid, it's like just keep those judgments to yourself. You don't know what you don't know. Mind your business. But I really like the idea of being able to do that as a rule. But I'm also thinking to myself, like, the shoe comes off. So, I'm thinking about, like, if my kid were kidnapped or something like that, I'd want to be able to track them, or at least the last known whereabouts of where that whatever was. So I don't have a problem with this at all. But when when your kids eventually, like my oldest two have cell phones that they take with them now, and I don't need to get into the whole, like, kids and cell phones conversation, but they're very locked down. They don't have social media except for Facebook. I've allowed that now. Mostly because I'm on there and my whole family is on there, and I made them friend everybody. If, like, we're related, I'm like, everything you do is public to these people first. But you can track them with their phone, where they are and when they leave and how fast they're moving and all that stuff. That's really nice.
I believe in keeping my kids off leash, so that's why we put up an invisible fence.
And a shot collar.
Annie, are you okay?
Texas officially
It ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Texas officially banned sale of lab-grown meat. A new state law took effect on September 1st, prohibiting the manufacture, sale, or distribution, or even possession of lab-grown meat.
What?
Yep, Ag Commissioner Sid Miller praised the move,
Ranchers take things pretty seriously.
saying
Kidding.
Texans have a right to know what's on their plate, and for many, that means meat that came from a pasture, not a lab. Critics argue the ban isn't about health or safety, because these products are federally approved by both the FDA and USDA, but about protecting entrenched industry interests. Annie, are you okay with banning lab-grown meat?
I'm a really big fan of Tommy Lahren has talked about this a lot, but I'm a big fan of being able to know exactly where that meat came from, because I don't think I've realized how much is imported versus how much is right here. I care. Folks, message me on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page if you know of a great cattle place that is grass-fed beef. I want that. If you want to advertise, we could partner. Because I have other people who ask me who has grass-fed beef. And there are some people who are like, oh, it doesn't taste so good. I want grass-fed beef. That's what I want. And I want it now.
I wonder if beef-fed beef tastes good. Like if it tastes kind of cruel.
Says the man who's eating the beef. I don't know that it's any different.
If it's grass-fed and it tastes different, then obviously what they eat matters. What if they ate each other? That's all I'm asking. Annie, are you okay?
I don't really know what else there's ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Bizarre ultrasound photo scam targets unsuspecting men at risk of being extorted in pregnancy fraud.
What?
A Japanese e-commerce company was, until recently, selling ultrasound shots and pictures of positive pregnancy tests. You could buy the images for around $14. They were often used in pregnancy fraud situations as a way to extort money or emotional control. But as of September 1st for this as well, ultrasound photos are officially banned from the site. Annie, are you okay with gender reveal parties?
No. I don't have to be against all of it because it is a very exciting thing. There's when you find out you're pregnant, and then there's when you find out what the gender is, and then there's when the baby is born. But the key point here, and I cannot stress this enough for people who are expecting their first child, people don't care about it as much as you do. They're not supposed to. You're the parents. This is the rest of parenthood for you. You care way more deeply, like to the extent that you would lay down your life for this little guy or little girl. You care way more deeply than anybody else does, which is why you have to make the tough decisions for that child.
Did you know what the gender of any of your kids, or not know for any of them going in?
When we got pregnant with Charlie, my gosh, my husband is the most he's an extrovert. He's easygoing. He is the type of guy, I mean, you all know him. He's not a high pressure guy. He's very easy to get along with, likes to hang out with people, whatever. He's not picky. He very much so lets me when it comes to having an opinion on stuff, if I have an opinion, it's usually okay with him. There are a few things in life where he's like, fist on the table, absolutely not. And one of them was, I don't want to find out what the baby is. He didn't want to find out what the gender of Charlie is. And I'm like, cartoon, jaw-dropping, landing on the floor, going, are you kidding me?
Auga.
Well, it's different.
Oh.
I think that's when the eyes pop out.
Yeah.
That was Jenny McCarthy.
I couldn't believe that he didn't want to find out what we were having. Like, I'm like, you really want to wait the whole 9 months and just wait and see what it is? I can't do that because I was so sick and miserable. And he's like, I really don't want to know. I really want to be surprised. And I said, I can't do that. What if I find out what we're having and I just don't tell you? And he's like, okay. So I found out, I think it was about 18 weeks. Charlie was born in 2009, and that was before the blood test was the common way to find out what the gender is. Did you have a blood test with yours and find out that way?
I did not, no. I waited till 20 weeks.
So with the actual ultrasound or whatever?
The anatomy scan.
I think with my younger two girls, I was able to do that because I think I was a geriatric pregnancy. I don't want to talk about it. So
they use that word a lot,
yeah,
by the way.
I am in my 30s.
California's doing that now.
So geriatric pregnancies?
Oh, sorry.
Where they draw the lines around the pregnant lady.
Geriatric. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gerrymander.
So, thank you for the
Yeah,
explanation.
you're welcome.
So I'm in the ultrasound room. Jared's going to come in and see the baby, the first pictures of your baby that you're really seeing where the baby is like, that's a baby in there. But I was in there for about 10 minutes before he came in, and I saw that Charlie was going to be a boy. And so then I knew from 18 weeks until Charlie was born that Charlie was a boy, and Jared did not know until he was
You didn't give it
delivered.
away?
Nope.
It's pretty impressive.
I didn't tell anybody except for my mom. I told she kind of shook it out of me. It was like maybe 10 days before Charlie was born.
Not good for the baby.
Huh?
Not good for the baby to shake
She didn't
you.
shake it out of me. Well, I don't know. I
before,
probably asked her to do that.
fine.
Get it out. But I remember thinking in the delivery room, like, what if Charlie comes out and Charlie's a girl? And I'll be like, that's not right. that's not what we agreed to.
Charlena.
Charlie. Call her Charlie.
Oh, Charlie.
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 Yeah.
Good Luck Charlie was one of the biggest shows on television at that time, and it was a girl.
King Charlie.
No. Mm-mm.
The girl.
Charlie is Charles, named after his grandfather, my dad.
I respect that.
Thanks. I was worried about it. Gender reveal parties. So what we did with the girls when we knew that they were was we got like a cupcake from Cruda Bakery, and they had pink icing in it, and that's how we like went to my parents' house and Jared's parents' house and was like, "Here's your cupcake." But we brought them baked goods, and then it was a girl, and then we went on with our day. So there's too much, and all of that stuff ends up being for the show of your life that is on social media that people don't really care about it.
We did that with cupcakes too.
Party or just
We had, since it was boy and girl, we had one cupcake that was kind of protruding and the other one had kind of a hole in it. The icing was the same color.
Are we talking about gender reveals?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a unique one.
It always is. It always is.
All right. Am I still going?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Yes.
Okay. Golf carts plague as neighborhoods clash over growing trend in America. Spotted on everything from cul-de-sacs to bustling main streets, golf carts are no longer just for the fairway. They're now street legal in many communities as families ditch their minivans and SUVs to run quick errands. While four-wheeled carts are changing the way small towns move, they appear to be divisive. Some Reddit users are complaining about golf carts on streets, while others are touting the efficiency. Annie, are you okay with golf carts off the course?
Yeah. They're
Definitely. Oh, I'm so glad I love it. I love seeing it.
When I lived in Hamel, Illinois, people would like mow grass for each other, and it was nothing to just look out your front window and see a John Deere driving down the street with the guy drinking a beer.
That's not exactly what we were talking about, though.
I think that's illegal. No, I don't think that's legal in most communities.
Wait,
Hamel's
Did
a
you check out
sanctuary
for a
city.
second there? Are you here?
No.
County's headed to Hamel
Wait,
right
where
now.
are the golf carts? Where are the golf carts? No,
All those guys
probably
with
the
the
local-
lawnmowers in Hamel are like, Annie Fry, why?
Oh, golf cart story. Let me tell you a story about a guy drinking a beer on a tractor.
There's a lot of rural communities where people use golf carts instead of, and I'm just saying in Hamel, it would take it an extra level.
Oh, those Hamel people are mad right now.
No, they're not. They are super chill.
Yeah, they're 3 deep.
And I love them, and they are my people. Even Warden. Where were the golf carts? I wasn't listening. I'm
Just
gonna be honest.
around.
Not in Hamel.
Not in the, they're all on lawnmowers, drunk as skunks.
I didn't say they were drunk. They were hot. They were doing work and helping their neighbors out.
They're not drunk. They're just hot.
Oh. They're cooling off.
I still don't know where the golf carts were.
Around.
Why is your face so red? Oh, I'm just hot.
Are you talking about me? I'm embarrassed that I wasn't listening, and usually I don't make it so obvious.
Usually you're pretty good. Kind of flying by the seat of your pants. I think you got caught in an updraft
I'm
there.
literally paying bills. We'll be right back. Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloor.com. Shop local, shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet for your next flooring purchase. Super exciting endeavor to consider the refresh, the life that you can breathe back into your home when you freshen up the flooring. I would encourage you to check out one of their 3 locations in store when the time is right. If you go to igotfloor.com right now, a little pre-shopping can be done there, of course, but you can visit them in person in Darting Prairie. You can go to West County on Olive Boulevard, a mile off 270 West on Olive. You can also visit them in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street in Old Town, St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. You can shop the brands that you trust, like the Techwood Plus line, the Mohawk Smart Strand line, all of the different types of top quality flooring that you will be looking at. You're going to be able to shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet. You're not going to have to sacrifice value at all. Pair it up with great customer service, and you'll understand why Michael's Flooring Outlet has been serving the people of St. Louis here locally for decades and decades. Find them online right now at igotfloor.com.
This Friday, the Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as the first week of NFL football begins. Friday's Chiefs-Chargers pregame is at 6 and kickoff is at 7. All of it is right here on 97.1 Friday night.
Hi, Mark Cox with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Welcome back, Gloria. You've been helping families for over 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and year end is a great time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan, and the time is now. Call Gloria right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
When someone hears the words, "You have cancer," it's one of the darkest moments in their life. Light the Night brings light to the darkness of cancer by uniting survivors, patients, and supporters in the cause to end cancer. Friends, families, and coworkers form a community of hope, raising funds in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Together, we walk with lanterns held high to light the path to cures. Last year alone, the FDA approved 18 new drug therapies and treatments to treat blood cancers. The impact of LLS-supported research goes beyond blood cancer. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. When we walk, cancer runs. Join the movement to end cancer today. Visit us at lightthenight.org.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Hey, the love of God has got me clean. No old spies. That desert I was in was deep, so dry. But now I'm out here feeling free, so fly. I'm chilling in the shade. Life gave me some lemons, but my Jesus, he be making lemonade. Lemonade. My Jesus.
You guys familiar with this song?
Is it Jesus song?
Yeah.
Heard it on social?
Familiar with Forrest Frank a little bit, but not this song specifically.
I'm familiar with Forrest Whitaker.
Now, Jesus, he be making lemonade. There is kind of something happening right now with Christian hip hop.
Okay.
Would you agree with that, Ethan?
I wouldn't. I genuinely
Don't
would
know?
not be able to give you an answer because I
Here,
was
Heathen?
around for the time where when I was listening to it, I hit a point where I was like, yeah, I just don't like this.
Can't handle
Like, it's
it?
not a bad message.
No.
The quality is just
It
isn't
has
that
to be
great.
good. You talk about this a lot, Ryan, when we're talking about movies that are made with it's a Christian movie. And then you go and you're like, this is a Christian movie.
They fall flat hard because they market themselves as Christian movies. And nobody, I shouldn't say nobody, very few people want to go see something because it's Christian. They want to see something that has an eternal truth in it.
I don't think that's true. There are a lot of people who want to go see stuff that they're like, this is a Christian thing, and they consider going to see it a vote of support with their dollar for it, but it never gets out of that smaller group of people.
The market you're talking about happens once in a while. It's just not very common. There are movies that do break through that people are like, oh, I want to support that Christian movie because maybe it has a good.
Did The Passion of the Christ did really well?
Well, The
didn't
Passion of the Christ, I mean, that's
one
a
of the
Mel
highest
Gibson
grossing
movie.
films of all time.
I'm talking about the lower budget Christian films. Like there have been Christian streamers that started for a decade that tried to get out of the gate and they just couldn't.
They don't have the budgets.
They don't have the budget and they don't have the audience because there's not enough people, even of Christians, who are like, I want to just watch Christian things.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. I think Forrest Frank, that's the name of the artist there, is having some significant success even in the secular world. I do believe that there is a popular culture, like a pop culture acceptance right now of things that dip a little bit into faith more than I have probably seen in my adult lifetime.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are desperate. People are just desperate for hope and something that's real.
We have gone through, I don't think it's a stretch to say we've gone through 15 years or more of that hope being filled by politicians making promises that they could never fulfill.
Or anything. I mean, literally anything other than Jesus. People are like, try this. Try self. Anything else.
The hole is always there. It's what you try to fill it with, and everything else hasn't worked. I don't know. I see a Christian pop culture resurgence, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Me too.
The YouTube live chat poll for today, I'm going to ask you guys real quick. Can Chicago flip red? Yes, no, but 25% is possible, or not a chance. Brad?
I'm a yes. Like, yes, it can, and I'm super hopeful. I don't know how soon it'll be.
Ryan?
If they stay on this trajectory, then no. If something comes along and shakes it loose, then yes, 25%. Well, no, 25% is possible.
I'm a no, but 25% is very possible, and this could just be the year. Ethan, you want to give us the results?
249 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Can Chicago flip red? 24% say yes, 31% say not a chance, 46% say no, but 25% is indeed possible.
All right. I like those odds. Let's take it and run with it. Make sure you check the podcast today. Chicago Flips Red at the 1 o'clock hour, and Harris Faulkner as well in the podcast. Mark Reard next.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Lutheran Elementary School Association, easier to say, Lisa with an E. If you go to lisastl.org, I want you to learn a little bit about the Lutheran school system that is in our area. Now, I know that there are a lot of you who are hearing me talk about this, and you are products of Lutheran education. You know who you are. I'm here to tell you that you may have a calling on your heart to provide this ministry to area kids here in the St. Louis bi-state region. And you can do that through LISA. LISASTL.org, that's with an E, LESASTL.org, is making it possible through tuition assistance to area St. Louis, Illinois, Missouri kids who want an alternative to public education. You can be a part of that. Think about providing that opportunity to kids who may not be able to access that type of education that you've experienced, that you're grateful for, that maybe you provided for your kids, for your grandkids. You can do that for other local kids, and I implore you to go to the website to learn exactly how that tuition assistance can be part of your ministry. LisaSTL.org.
Stop just trying to paint and patch up the outside of your home. It's time to give it a permanent upgrade with James Hardie fiber cement siding from Lakeside Renovation and Design. This siding is designed to stand up to all the crazy weather we get here in Missouri, and it looks fantastic. Lakeside is a James Hardie elite preferred contractor. Whole team, by the way, is in-house, and they're going to take care of all the details, the color, the trim, everything to customize it to your home, to take the stress off of your plate. If your home is showing any signs of wear, it's time to take the next step. Visit lakesiderd.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit